Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Donnie Samir, Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We're rolling to Senegal next month. Here in the next 2-3 weeks, we are rolling to Senegal. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO.Africa to learn more. We will love to host you all in the beautiful country of Senegal. The best food, if you ask me, the best food in Africa. Some of the best food in the world. That and Haitian food. Love some Haitian food. In fact, y'all listen, if you're in Atlanta, hold on, let me pull this up. This is my sister is hosting this event here in Atlanta. Hold on, where is it at? Where are you at, Dinus? Here we go. Bam. If you are in Atlanta, bring the kids. Where you at? Zaka Boutique. I'm here, but where's the here we go. Earth Day. Here we go. Friday, May 1st. And Saturday, Family Day is Saturday, May 2nd. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Right here, man. Come out. Zaka Boutique, 1554 Rob David Abernathy Boulevard, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Come and check us out. Come and check us out. If you're in Atlanta, come and check us out. Zaka Boutique. Come get you some Haitian food. There's gonna be free food. Is the food free? I think the food is free. But yeah, come check us out. Zaka Boutique, y'all. Zaka Boutique. Happy Sunday, everyone. And then make sure you visit Danfo.Africa. We're rolling to Senegal next month, Nigeria in August, Zanzibar in September. Also going to Kenya in September as well. Man, this trip is gonna be also there's gonna be a segment of it focused on medical tourism and real estate, but I'll have an official announcement for all that tomorrow as far as that portion. But Kenya is going to be September 29th through October 8th. Again, September 29th to October 8th. If you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo Africa to learn more. Again, Africa to learn more. We're also going to Ghana, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone in November, and then we're rolling to what else we rolling to? Rolling to some other countries, and Benin in January for the Voodoo Festival. So if you're interested in joining, please visit Africa to learn more. Without further ado, y'all, let's jump to today's topic, Mali. Now, let me say this. I reached out to my contacts in Mali, and they said it has not been confirmed. Hold on, guys. Guys, give me a second. I'm sorry about that. Um, Somebody just texted me from Senegal. My bad, you guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. This is important. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Had to handle that. All right, so talk to my people in Mali. It said it has not been confirmed. This is what my contact said. I think so, but not confirmed yet. So we'll see. But Mali defense minister, we'll just say alleged for now, even though the media is saying that it happened. Allegedly was killed um, over this weekend by radical Islamic terrorists. Sadio Kamara, the Mali defense minister. Yeah, all the top news outlets are reporting it, but again, let's wait for the Malian government press, their minister of information. Let's wait for them to come out and say that it happened, even though all of the top media outlets are reporting it. Because I already know, say James is watching, and say James go call in and yell and cuss at me and Dynas, why are you reporting fake news? Um because whatchamacallit, because Mali hasn't officially um officially said that is true. I spoke to my family in Mali. They blew up his house in KT. Is not confirmed. Some are saying he wasn't there. Hmm. Yeah, sorry about this. We're going to Senegal here in about 2.5 weeks. So someone's texting me from Senegal about rooms and stuff. So I just got to respond back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, mostly everyone's saying it's not true. Yeah, but guys, I mean, and I was going to get into that as well. Russian mercenaries hired by Mali's military agreed to withdraw from Gadal after 2 days of clashes. Yeah, Russia is so overrated when it comes to defending Africans. Yeah, they ran. The Russian, they're no longer called Ragnar. They're called like African Defense Force or something like that. Yeah, they ran. They got the hell on. They said, "No, we're not dying for these Negroes." They're like, "Nah, we not dying for these Negroes. No, not at all." We said, "We out." African Corp. That's what it's called. African Corp. Yeah, they got the hell on. Hey, terrorists, y'all can have it. We let us just let us leave. Let us retreat. Let us retreat. Uh, the Russian mercenaries said they were way outnumbered. Okay, if they have all this tech, all this technology, you know, we come out here and claim that Russia it's stronger than America and stronger than the West. Well, they have all this technology. What's going on? Okay, they're outnumbered. Okay, so what? They're outnumbered. If we have all the superior technology that we're supposed to be getting from Russia and China, I mean, they should be able to deal with these jihadis. It's embarrassing. We give Russia all these natural resources, and they ain't doing nothing. The country's back under control. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. Mali north of Segu is not. It's not safe. It's not. And part of the in the terrorists, the jihadis, they actually went into Savare. I'm very familiar with Savare. Savare is pretty much the gateway or the entrance to Dogon country. I've been in Dogon country 3 times. And yeah, there were gun battles in Savare, which is not good at all. And allegedly, they took over a base in Savare. I'm not sure. In fact, you know what? Let's go on. X is a very good source when it comes to what's going on in Mali. How you spell Savare? Mali troops and Russian mercenaries withdrawn from northern city after rebels. Yeah, it's just yeah, Savare. Here we go. It's embarrassing, But we hype up Russia and China so much. Here we go. Let me play this.
والرجل كيدان يا صار بتاع الزايم اكيد فيديو وين يقراك بدي وين ده جارك ده الله اكبر
Somebody said France and other European countries were in Mali before and did nothing. That I gotta disagree. I'm not defending France, but I was so when I was in Mali, like in between 2013 and 2016, it was much safer up north than it is now. And French troops were openly on the ground. You could see them. They weren't running like the freaking Russians. I know it's not Kadal, but it's definitely in Mali. Like they were at least somewhat effective, the French, when they were on the ground in Mali. Hey, Lionel Champion's in the house. Shout out to you, Lionel Champion, Lion Champion. Shout out to you. Now, guys, this is Western media. So we'll take this with a grain of salt. But
junta, the beating heart of the military junta, they attacked the house of the president, Goita. They attacked the house of the minister of defense,
attack the house of the
Camara. They
president.
attacked military facilities in Kati, which is actually a big city, but only inhabited by military, you know. They attacked the airport of Bamako, and as you see in the middle of the country, they attacked Sevare, which is a big military facility that they control. And as they said, they controlled the Mopti also, and most of Kidal, and most of Gao. And what's interesting here, it's a simultaneous attack by Jinim all over the country, but the attacks of Kidal and Gao, you had Tuareg insurgents participating in these attacks and taking over Kidal. We have footage of them entering Kidal. And the interesting thing about Kidal and Gao, here it is Kati, you know, next to the capital Bamako. This is the footage of jihadis of Jinim, like roaming among civilians before actual attacks, you know. And then the interesting part about Kidal and Gao is that they control the city, common control between Tuareg rebels and Jinim jihadis, but the military facility in Kidal is still held by the military and with the Russian Africa Corps. And in Gao, it's the same thing. They control the town, but they don't control the military barracks. As we speak, the situation, the Jinim and the rebels have the upper hand in the north. The situation in Bamako seems to be stabilized, but we don't know yet what's the extent of the destruction in Kati and of the fighting.
And in terms of, you know, the consequences of today's attacks, what does this mean now for Mali and its, you know, fight against jihadist insurgencies going forward?
Well, we have two major teachings, actually. We talked here in France 24 about the deals between the Tuareg rebels and the Jinim more than a year ago. And now we see that it was implemented.
Go ahead, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Dynas. Hello to you in the chat. Look, I think my suggestion for this problem is Mali, those three countries have to start negotiating with the ECOWAS. And I think the AU has to be involved. And we have to form a regional force of most of those countries and really go and attack these guys. Like what they did with the wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone. It has to have that urgency. They really have to put a force together collectively and really attack these guys, because if they take over Mali, they're going to come, further down to the, those other West African nations. This is our fear. You know, this is not some kind of game that we can argue about online and piss about it. It's really serious. Places like Nigeria is going to become more insecure.
Hold on, one second, Elvis. Lying. You can be all emotional you want. Lying. I am telling you, north of Segu is not safe in Mali. It's not. I mean, it's what it is. We can be all emotional, and I know whenever we come out and speak on the AES and the realities of what's going on, people get offended. But we just got to keep it real. Like Mali, I know for a fact because I'm very familiar with Mali. I've been to Mali 3-4 times. And people on the ground, and I have people on the ground in Mopti, Bamako, Segu, and Sevare, and they're all saying it's not safe. That's coming from them. It's what it is. So we could be upset and all and emotional about it, and call us agents, and we're putting out misinformation. But it is what it is. Trust me, I love Mali. I have a lot vested in Mali. But people.
You prefer the French to be there then? You prefer
I
the
would
French to go back?
if I would say this, if Mali had to choose between Russia and France all day, none of it close.
And France has done all of the stuff that it's done and continues to do. Are you kidding me? Because the
I
military is just
just
one
quiet,
thing.
guys.
Sean. See, this is the problem. I've been to Mali. Okay, it was. I understand colonial. I mean, come on, Sean. I understand the history, but if Mali needs assistance, okay, and they're gonna choose a country that's not Africa to help in their defense, France did a much better job than Russia. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, so in 2012, when the MLNA
That Donnie, you cut me off,
came
and I
from.
didn't even finish my
Oh, okay, all right. I'm gonna go
statement.
after you then. Yeah, because you were in the middle of your saying something.
Yeah, sorry. Look, I'm saying this, and I hope the other panelists, the other Africans, will agree with me. West Africans in particular. We need a regional force. We need more unity. Those three countries together, they are they're prioritizing development, and perhaps are now winning more on the battlefield. And I think Nigeria has to be involved, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, they have to have a military force that can rival and defeat those terrorists. If we can't do that, they're gonna chip at, these countries one nation at a time, spread throughout Africa, and we can't afford it. We are poor, region on that continent. You have more people being displaced. You're going to have radical Islam spreading throughout our region. A lot of people are going to be killed. We have to come back together. I think what Mali and Niger and Burkina Faso was doing in terms of propaganda and showing development, those are fine things for the people morale. But what really matters is preserving life. And if you can't preserve the life of your citizens, you're really not a functioning government. And I
What are you
think,
talking about? What
You're
are you
wrong,
talking
Elvis.
about?
hold on, let
You're
me
Uh,
finish.
wrong.
Let me finish. There, Mali, for them to be close to Bamako, to be on the outskirts of Bamako, that's the capital city. If the military was effective, if those Sahel states was working in concert with each other, and they could protect themselves, those terrorists would be pretty much done by now. They won't be coming in to
Do you know
Mali.
how many
You
excuse me,
know.
terrorists
sir. You got
went
to
there
wait your
on the
turn,
thing?
sir. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
have to
mean,
wait
guys,
after me.
let's
You're
not
gonna
be
have
too
to wait after
emotional.
me. I'm
We
going
just
after
seen
Elvis.
the video. These are guys in neighborhoods outside of Bamako. Why are we trying to act as if this is not a serious thing, and these guys are not making
But it's
advances
been
into the capital
serious though,
city?
Elvis,
Right.
and
So
the
why
fact that
can't we
you
come
are
back
just now
together?
saying that we need to do this, and this should have been done. That they've been having turret
They
problems since the
left. They left.
1960s.
Sha,
I'm
Sha,
saying they should come
Since
back and
the
renegotiate.
Elvis,
1960s,
Sha.
I just pulled this up. They've been having problems
I
with the
can't believe you
Tuareg since
guys,
the
man. You guys are just trying to
1960s when they
score
got
points and
independent.
be
But
right.
Shaw, like reading online versus being there on the ground is completely different. You can
Oh,
read all the
okay.
information you want.
Linus,
So
I'll
I'm just
pass the
Well,
mic. I want to hear everybody else. Let me
you can
pass the mic.
fill us in then. You can
Uh,
fill us in with
I've
stuff
been
that we
filling
don't
you in.
know.
I've been filling you in.
I,
Mali was
mm,
much safer,
Sha.
okay, from when I was there in
mm.
2013, 2014 through 2016 than it is now.
Right, and of course
Danish,
it was safer because they didn't
Danish,
kick the French out, and they
but
didn't
Danish,
they weren't taking
right?
control. Excuse me, sir, you're gonna have to wait your turn. They didn't take control of their resources, and they weren't bucking up against the pact for the continuation of colonization. Of course, they're going to be safer because, along with their military presence, all of those other things were in place since 1940, since Charles de Gaulle had that agreement with the pact for the continuation of colonization. All of this problems is as a result of them wanting to be self-determined, take control
So what
of
the hell?
of their resources. May I
What's the
finish? May I
purpose? So what's
finish?
the purpose?
Oh,
No,
that's
you
the
can't.
host.
I'm talking. You can't. No,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't.
My
I'm
bad.
talking.
My bad. My bad.
So what's the purpose of Russia? You asking for help from Russia then if they
So let
can't
me.
do the job?
Okay. Well, first of all,
Damn it, man.
they couldn't buy. They had actually put in. Can we? Can I please? They had tried to buy weaponry, not just Burkina Faso, but Mali as well. They were trying to buy weapons from one country that actually one of those three countries had put up money to actually buy it. They held the money and they sent it back to them, and they would refuse to sell them weapons. So Russia is selling them weapons. Russia is also giving them advisors to use those weapons. And when I just checked now, unless this AI is wrong, there's less than 2,000 troops, of Russian troops in Mali. Less. And so, Russia is not even really the factor here. They're not even a conversation. In fact, I just finished talking to a brother 20 minutes ago who's living in New York. His family is from northern Mali, and they're where the hot spot is. They're in northern Mali, and he's from the village. And he's telling me we just finished discussing what was going on. He said this was a big loss, and it was a big, they're going to have to really assess what happened, what went wrong, and the fact that that general died is a big deal. But Ukrainians involved. And the intelligence that they're getting is obviously coming from more than just they're getting intelligence from the Western world, whoever that is. So these people, the Malians and the three countries that are involved here are fighting the Western world. This is a proxy war. So of course it's going to be peaceful if the French are there, because then the French are there and they're also getting what they have been getting all this time, which is why when the MNLA group, now you have all of these groups, FLR, the MNLA, and all these associated groups are related to Islamic extremist stuff. And the brother that I've just finished talking to, he's a Songhai, and he's saying that they are not going to allow these Arabic looking folks, and they've been around these folks and they've mixed in with these folks. He gave us the history. It's not simple history. It's not a simple understanding. But at the end of the day, the colorism, that the lighter you are, you think you're going to run the show because you're light white and you got Arabized, right? It's not even about the religion, although they want to come in with this extremist religions. The Africans are fine with what they've been doing for the last 1,000 years and how they've mixed their culture in it. And they're like, no, you're not practicing real Islam. And we want to take your shit over. And we feel like we're more superior than you. And the void that was created with Libya and this MNLA group that came in 2012 has been one of the leading groups as of late, because this shit's been going on since the 1960s. So yeah, they got the upper hand on them this time, but they're going to have to really figure out what they need to do and land on this point with this 15,000 troops that they amassed, because this happened after they made that statement that they've amassed 15,000 troops. So now they attack 5 cities. So yeah, it's on. And the thing about it, and to Elvis, y'all should have been talking about this 20 years ago. Oh, now it's getting serious. No, it should have been serious. It should have been serious a long time ago, where y'all should have been sending up those, building up the Echo Mug forces or whatever, sending troops, money, whatever, to keep that shit from spreading. Y'all should have been
No,
doing
when we
that.
talk about
Instead,
Islamic terrorism, people say it's not true. It's only the West doing it. That's
but
the thing I'm talking
instead, you
about.
are
Go ahead,
doing
Elvis.
things. You're meeting with the French in Nigeria. You're meeting with the Israelis. The United States is involved. You're doing things all right, but the things that you're doing is you're setting up a base for the Western world to attack them from the side. And then now we're looking at Ghana with a side eye because they just finished meeting
You
with the
pass the
EU.
mic, please.
Yeah, we just finished meeting with the EU, who they want to share intelligence and sending, drone technology and all of this shit. So we're looking at Muhammad with a side eye, with what he's doing there too. So
Let
it's
me
all surrounding them all the way around. The Algeria is fucked up. Mauritania is fucked up.
let me pass the mic to Mansec. Go ahead, Mansec.
Hey, how you doing, panel? I just want to respond to what you were saying about when
And,
you
and,
said,
real quick, say James just confirmed that he passed away. So
yeah. It's confirmed. And so I just want to respond to you when you were saying about how it was safer when France was there. When France was there, the Malian government was there at that time. They were paying JNIM not to do certain things, and they had a certain area that they were closed to, and they'll do like their little small attacks. But that was the reason why it was, like you said, it was like safer. What happened was when that coup happened, and when they went and kicked out France, they were asked to pay JNIM. Assimi Gorta said, "No, I'm not paying nobody." And this is one of the reasons why you're seeing the rapid insurgence. Now I want to respond to Elvis. He's saying that how they should go back to ECOWAS and they should go back to the AU. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, from 2012, before the coup happened, there was an ECOWAS. They never had the joint task force they was talking about since 2009. Last year, they literally started the AES force, you know, and you're saying that to talk to Nigeria and talk to Benin or talk to Ivory Coast. How can you talk to these other countries if they have a base of JNIM and France in there who's trying to destabilize them? So pretty much, what you want them to talk to those two countries, have open borders so these guys can just go and infiltrate. You trying to like set them up? Like that's just like sounds crazy. That's just not gonna happen. Um, what else I want to say also? So I do want to say is if you look as a whole and those people from ECOWAS, again, they never had the force. The only people I can say that had a sovereign first right now is the AES because they have about 15,000 troops, and right now, from what I'm reading, they are indeed in Cadi fighting. But that's what I wanted to let Dynas know about the reason why it was like safe around that time is because they were paying. And that's like you see what's happening in Benin and Ivory Coast. Benin is also paying JNIM not to attack certain sections, but they said no. That's why you're seeing those attacks in Benin. And Ivory Coast is also doing the same thing. They're not going to acknowledge that, but that's what I want to say. Pass it on to Africa.
All right, go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, greetings to everyone, panel, the chat. Brother Dynas, thank you very much for bringing this show again. It's a very urgent and emotional day I'm sure, for a lot of Africans, us Pan-Africans, especially for us, people of that region, who have a great stake, and also I hope people respect, us, the people of the locals, who some of us are struggling with this issue, and also some of us have family members in this area fighting to secure West Africa. And, it's a very sensitive issue, not just coming online and talking. Yes, sadly, you're right. Sergio was killed. That's true. And the area has been basically there's two groups who have came together and took over this territory. And I hope, the Malian government can put themselves up together and the AES, and repel them back, because I'm sure they can do that. I'm sure they have the capability. And one good thing I noticed
if I can interrupt, like, so my buddy, I'm texting my buddy in Senegal right now. They're worried about if the president's alive, if the president's even alive.
Yeah,
because they said his palace was attacked, right?
Yeah, and Sergio was killed in his house also.
No, okay, are you talking about the president or the minister of defense?
No, the minister of defense was killed in his
house.
Right.
But they're my people in Senegal are saying they're worried about where's President Gorta at.
Yeah, because the part of Dakar, the attack was very close to the presidential palace.
It's not far from Assimi's house. Yeah,
but he's safe. He's safe.
Yeah, I hope so. Inshallah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And this is what we've been talking about from the long time ago. I mean, I can understand both arguments here. I mean, we said this before. We can only rely on Russia. This has been my talking point from the day one, since the beginning of the AES. We have to work with anybody that suits you. Don't box yourself in one corner, because fighting terrorism is not easy. It's not an easy task. It takes a lot of manpower, a lot of technology to deal with these people, righteously. And I'm glad Shah spoke to someone who have a great connection and great insight of some of the stuff that's happening in that region. Colorism have a lot to play, in that region you call, the Sahel. The lighter skin think they're better than the darker skin, and they will use religion as a tool, to manipulate situation, to always do what they do. This has been going on for centuries. I narrated this before, when it goes back to the Almoravid days, when black people conquered Spain and ruled Spain, and then eventually the Arabs came and used, a direct lineage as Arabs. We're more closer to the Arabs, so we have the right to rule, not you. And obviously, it was repelled back to Africa, and slavery began. It's a very similar trend, and this is it's a big threat to the entire black race. It's not just to the Sahel, because if, God forbid, if anything goes wrong in those three regions, the entire West Africa is going to fall in the hand of, these people. They're going to overrun us. They have tried this before. They have the Chadic War was one of the most brutal war. Late President General Muhammad Buhari, he was one of the people who went there with his battalion. He ended up to be one of the only person who survived that war. They have been trying, and they have been sponsored by those in the north. They've been sponsored by people who look similar to them. They have been sponsored by different agents. But however, we cannot allow boots on the ground, because we can't trust them doing this work anymore. The NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was in the Sahel for over 10 years. I totally understand. I agree, Dynasty had, it was maybe slightly bit better than what they have today. But there was a time also where they were struggling, when they actually came all the way into Bamako and into Timbuktu and destroyed the artifact, the library, the stuff in the library, and so basically it's been backward and forward with these people. It's like a rat race. Something needs to be done. And in fact, I'm glad I've seen one thing that's moving today, and I've been saying this a long time. Sometimes people need to put the prides away. Okay, the guy in Guinea, people need to understand how comes Guinea been surrounded by war all over the years since its existence, since the colonial days, and he still managed to keep his integrity and his sovereignty from all of this. I don't know if Mansek, you've seen what happened recently in the Guinea border. There was a lot of terrorists captured inside the Mali, but the Guinean army went rolling in Mali, in that territory. They went testing the waters, and what they found, they caught a lot of terrorists. And also they caught a lot of white folks with these terrorists, with machinery, with the audacity.
They were not as big as
Mali. They were trying to get the gold so they could fund the
Exactly. And exactly. How comes the Guineans have this intelligence? A small country in West Africa compared to the size of Mali. Because they saw this, because they avoid issues like this before it starts. You need to put it into bed before it starts. We need to learn from what, and at the moment as we speak, we have all the generals, most of the senior military officers from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger Republic, and Togo. They're in Guinea right now. They're training there. They're actually training them. And then when I said this right the last time, people are saying, "Oh, this guy in Guinea is a Western puppet, is this and that." I can see what they're doing right in Guinea. A lot of people can't see it. I have family members in the military there. I know their mindset. We cannot let history. We need to learn our history. What's going on in the Sahel right now is nothing new. We've been holding the line for so long. It's so sad. We've been holding the line for so long in that region. Okay, and it's about time we put this into bed. And some of our people, in that region have suffered for too long. Because the place is too big. It's too big, and it's hard to govern.
30 seconds, I got to pass it to CD. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's hard to govern certain areas in the Sahel. So it's either they actually have what they call national military service in the entire Sahel, where everybody have to be in the army at a certain age and increase their defense, or they find a way to get the right allies to come and help them. But I hope things go right for them, and I pray for peace in the Sahel and West Africa. Thank you. I pass the mic, Daniel. Thank you.
All right, guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Links in the chat room. Where's Lion Champion at? Lion Champion, I want to apology. You're the main one. Whenever I talk about the AES, you're the main one in here trolling, saying that we're agents, we're lying. So it's been confirmed. He passed away. So Lion Champion, the same way, I'll redact something if I'm wrong. I'll redact a statement if I'm wrong. I need you to come in here and redact what you said, Lion Champion. Don't hide now. He didn't disappear. All right, go ahead, CD.
Hi everybody. How's the panel? So the thing is, let us be clear with this, right? None of us against AES. We want AES to succeed, right? The terrorists that coming to attack all the AES country is not anybody's favor, specifically we the West African. First of all, they don't even have agenda. They just want to come and destroy most of these countries, right? But the reality is what Mali is going through right now, all was being caused by Asinkota. Everybody talking about why West African cannot send forces. First of all these special forces that was formed in Guinea, that's why Alpha Conte hired Dumbuya to be the head of special forces for anti-terrorists. Guinea had military in Mali. Africa had military in Mali. They are special forces to fight against terrorism. At the time, Ibeka was president, right? So what Asin Kota did, he came, he overthrew, he got rid of Ibeka, right? And then after a year, he arrested some Ivorian military that came to help them to fight the terrorists, accused them of trying to overthrow him. He arrested the Ivorian military, they were in jail for 2 years. So they somehow they negotiated through ECOWAS and they freed the Ivorian military and the Africa would withdraw their soldiers. While at the same time, Dumbuya that was brought to fight terrorism, to support Mali, he overthrew Alpha Conte, right? So when he overthrew Alpha Conte, the Guinea withdrew their troops, their special forces from there. At that time, the situation was under control, right? And the people that trained all these special forces were General Nisley, the Marines were the one that trained all these guys to fight terrorism. So what Asen Kota did, he arrested the Ivorian military, accused them of treason, and Africa has to negotiate for 2 years to free their military, right? That was all Russian politics because Russia wanted all these American trained special forces to remove them from Mali so they can come over and take the resources. This is the situation what Mali is going through right now. And Seydou Keita and Asin Kota, they all have the same rank. They were all captain. They fight together. They were friends, close friends. It's just the matter he's the president. But when you talk about real fighter, Seydou Keita was Seydou Camara was even well trained than Asin Kota, right? And now you're talking about, attacking Kidal, Gao, Bamako, part of Bamako where they have the presidential palace. This is a big blow to Mali. For Burkina Faso, we can worry about Burkina Faso that much because they have the situation a little bit under control. But Mali is heading for disaster.
Right.
Mali is in big trouble, right? They captured Kati, I think it's Kati or Kati, where this guy Sidou Kamara is from, right? He was killed. And even they were burning down plane from the airport. So the situation, why would someone support this story? We're not supporting that. But when the reality comes, when truth comes, we have to talk about it. There's no Russian success story anywhere. And again, based on the history that we have seen with African military, when they come, they get rid of civilian government, while the country is in crisis, it ended up being a disaster. We saw the same thing in Sierra Leone. When Strasser left them from the war front, they went over to Joseph Mumbo. What Sierra Leone ended up being in serious crisis. When they start putting that weight on, they don't fight war anymore. So instead of them being on the offensive position, they're being on the defensive position. Right? You're talking about Doumbouya. Mamadi Doumbouya, the one that caused all this trouble because he was trained to fight the terrorists. That's why Alpha Conde hired him. What he did, he refused to go fight in Mali and overthrow the president in Guinea. Check it out. Avorum
No,
Military
no,
was in prison.
no, CD. He was there. I said he was there to protect the president, though. CD.
No, no, no.
He wasn't there to fight in Mali.
No, no, that's why they got the
He
special
was.
forces.
He was. He served. He served. I think he served in the Sahel. He served in twice in Afghanistan,
But that's
if
what
I'm
I'm
not
telling you.
mistaken.
That's why they were trained for Africa. He was not trained to be a
Mm.
presidential guard. He was not even in the
Yeah,
palace. They had
yeah,
their
but the thing is,
military
Guinea.
barrack. Do you know where they had their barrack? They had it on the Sierra Leone border.
Honestly, it was Guinea. Doumbouya is a godsend to Guinea because the military in Guinea without Doumbouya, right? I don't know what's going to happen in that country, but I
What are
think
you
he is a
talking
godsend.
about? Jumia have
Because
neutralized Guinean military. Check the
mm,
history. They were brought in to fight the terrorism in Mali. He was serving in Mali. That's how
I
that
think
way he met Asinkota.
yeah, but
I
the
And
know there was
Guinean
a picture
military.
of
Ivory
him
Coast military too. So
being
while he
trained in
was
the
fighting
United
there,
States.
what he did, you know who influenced Doumbouya to overthrow? It was this guy that
Mm,
was ambassador in Cuba. They called Abubakar Kamara. They call him Idi Amin, right? He
yeah, I mean,
recommended Doumbouya to Alpha Conde that you should hire this guy. This guy is a liaison officer from France. He's well trained. So Alpha didn't even look at his resume. So he hired him because of Idi Amin that was ambassador in Cuba.
mm.
But
Are they like
what
the
he
S?
did,
Are they equivalent to the SAS in the UK? Right? The
yes,
French.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they are almost a missionary group. So when he hired Doumbouya through this guy, what he did, he went through Doumbouya to overthrow Alpha Conde. And when they overthrew Alpha Conde, what he did, the same day he left from Cuba, and Doumbouya, appointed as a defense minister. So there where the
Yeah,
whole
but
terrorism situation
CD,
started in.
respectfully, I still disagree because the way the situation, Alpha Conde left the Guinea military without Doumbouya to put them in check, the country would have been into more mess. I think he is the right person, at the right time, for the country.
What do you know the amount of military, the senior military Doumbouya have killed? I mean, Massache can tell you. He killed the Sadiba that was well trained in, Guinean military. He
Yeah,
killed him. He executed him
but he did that
because,
because he got paranoid. He think that everyone was after him. That's why he started knocking
right,
off
he
people.
started
Because
killing all these guys.
they was trying to
Hey,
kill
hey,
Doumbouya.
hey, hey, hey,
Doumbouya.
guys!
Yeah.
I gotta
Mm.
let me pass somebody to Kidola. Go
So
ahead, Kidola.
let me
Sorry, I interrupted CD. Let CD land.
yeah,
Sorry,
that you
Daniel. My bad.
interrupted me.
All right, 30 seconds. I gotta pass somebody.
The reality when you talk about Dunga eliminated all these senior military guys from he killed PV, he killed Sadiba, all these guys then that he think that was a threat to him, he killed all of them. So they were brought in to fight terrorism in Mali, but what he did, he overthrew the president, and now the situation is out of control. But I'll end there for now. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Kidola.
Thank you, Darius. Thank you, everybody. You see, the so-called son of Africa caused this problem. Mali have always been a zone whereby the whole of Africa has always come together to fight. Well, Mali is a buffer zone right from time. The people that made up Mali are from all over West Africa. Algeria hands is in this nonsense. The French hand was in this. For years, the French have been corrupting this AES former leaders and everything. Then they see opportunity to come to Nigeria through Boko Haram. If you destabilize Nigeria, which have maybe the largest military force at that time, and they just see opportunity, what do? They all fly helicopter in the night to drop weapons to Boko Haram. Pin down Nigeria, the whole thing will go down. If Mali fall, Nigeria, not a part of Nigeria will be overrun. Ababa caused this problem. So-called African son. Because of this problem. He doesn't know the history, doesn't know nothing. Gaddafi was holding that place down. But now Algeria hands is not coming in now. Algeria, this Algeria, Morocco, is all racist country, They They don't like the darker skinned Africans. You know, they're pumping weapons to them.
Facts.
You know?
100% correct.
Yep.
You know, because we
Mauritania
should
too.
start thinking about Mali and all these things. Mali will always be there. Mali be Africa is right. Mali have been fighting for years. You know, but now because of the resources, the French have been playing some kind of games there. You know, the Americans came in. You know, Obama caused this problem, what we're suffering now today in West Africa. You know, you can say that the past leaders, they were all corrupt. Some of them will be bribed already then to penetrate towards Nigeria so they can destabilize Nigeria. You know, when Obuari came, things was a little bit okay because the guy know how to, you know, because, yeah, he know the whole game. Tinubu cannot handle this. Tinubu don't even know what is even going on. He just there dreaming. These guys, if Mali is down, not a part of Nigeria will be overrun. Big time.
All West Africa is down. All West Africa.
You know, you saw Togo and Benin Republic will be wiped out. These are small countries. These are like a beach lane. You know, you go into beach, you park your car somewhere. This is how Togo and Benin Republic is. You know, so we're scared. How can you defend these people? How can you defend these people? I think they have to forget about ECOWAS, forget about this. All of them have to come together. This is not about the game anymore. I understand behind the scene, people are still pulling the string. If you go, you'll be sanctioned. If you go, I will not give you money. That's what you're seeing now. When they came together before, it was all a joke. Oh, yeah, you put your form yourself like this. It was all a joke. But now they need it to come because these monsters, if they penetrate anywhere, Mali is still holding down. I know they will not succeed in this thing, what they're doing now. Yeah, the man was a soldier, he died out of battleground, everything. You have to start, the Chad, the father of the man that died in Chad, Idris, was also fighting this set of kind of people. Gaddafi was the one holding down all these things. But what did they do? People that live far away. Why do you want me to be like you? Why should I be eating hamburger if I don't want to eat no hamburger? Why? People are living in peace. People are holding down for everywhere. The so-called son of Africa came and they said, oh, one of my biggest regrets. God damn, what biggest regret?
Somebody said, my Senegalese friend just texted me and said that, yeah, they're trying to make West Africa Arabic.
They want to destabilize the minerals there, the gold.
Right.
The gold
there.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
It's not just that, because and the thing is the front
every
line,
time you say that, Donis, they try to poop away. They try to say, no, it's not that. It's fucking that. They're trying to Islamicize West Africa, bro.
Algeria,
That's the main point of
the
it.
urgency from
Algeria
Ghana,
had the
Nigeria, and
Algeria had the CDC. Algeria is not Arabic. Algeria is not Arabic.
From y'all.
These people are well trained in Algeria. All the information, whatever they have is Algeria. Algeria handles in this thing big time.
Yeah, they met with the United States last year, a year before last. They met with them, military agreements with them, just like they met with Ghana and met with Nigeria.
Bro, if we don't fight these people, if we don't fight these people, they go sell us, go give Oman, they go sell us, go give Qatar, they go sell us, go give Saudi Arabia again.
So then the front line should
colorism.
Let them finish, y'all.
We should, the whole of West Africa, we have to do what we do way back, go to Mali and create a buffer zone there. Otherwise, these Arabs, this Oman and this Qatar with their big agents in Algeria, we're going down big time. You know, that's what I can say. We're going down, man. It's about Africa is like this is about colorism. They don't see us.
Colorism.
This is the fight of the century. This is the fight of a century. Fight that was before that never really ended. Now the Algeria are waking it up. Thank you, bro.
Right.
All right, go ahead, Babaliko.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna say right now with Algeria, after this, they shoot down the drone, Mali drone. I don't even think they ever bought it back. They never even did anything. They held back Mali. So this guy who's just speaking is 100% right. But Donis, where did you get your information? Because I was on Andre TV, and I was on this telecom information, and I saw that they obliterated those guys. Those guys came in with a uniform and everything. It had a little complication because they didn't know who was who. But the Malian forces stand up, and the people on the telecom, on Andre TV telecom, and the people went after those guys and killed a lot of them. Body was all over the ground.
Yeah,
so
like
a lot of
that got killed.
Yeah, but the minister of defense, he died. He's dead.
Like,
Did they show you the amount of Malians who died? This is the propaganda. You don't.
No. But no, he's dead. They reported it. He's dead.
But listen to where the defense minister would die. How many Guinean Malians would die?
Let Baba Liko finish.
Yeah.
Minister of defense
Yeah, so that's what the problem. And the guy is right. If Africa don't stand up, people talking about Nigeria have Boko Haram to worry about. They can't do nothing. If Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and these African countries really stop their nonsense and come together, they don't need no Western India. They don't need no France, no America. All they need is to come together and do a force and put together a serious force. But the problem Africa have is this division. This Ivory Coast and Nigeria and all of them division against the AES. That's the problem. If they comes together and they've put together a force, they could wipe these guys out. And they need a front that blocks from Nigeria, goes all the way across, from Algeria, go all the way across. Because let me tell you, Algeria, Egypt, it didn't look like that before. Those people are new there. One guy an Arab guy I meet him in Texas. He's telling me, "Oh, I'm Egyptian." I was like, "You're not original Egyptian. You are Arab." But he swear he's a Egyptian. I'm like, I say, all you guys from Morocco, go all the way back, Egypt, Algeria. None of you guys is a real African. All of you guys is fake. All them real ones came down in the Sudan and area and down in the more deep in the Sahel and Mali. So that's what I'm saying. Those guys can't be trusted. The Africa need to get together. Nigeria need to get their act together. All that. They can't help nobody. I hear people talking about, Nigeria need to come in and do what? America forces is there right now in Nigeria. And
Nigeria has the strongest military in our region.
It's chaos. Are you seeing what's going on in Nigeria with the American forces there? Are you seeing what's going on? The terrorists are killing people and forces over there. And American forces
they have the logistics. They have the air power.
They don't got the logistics, man. Stop it, bro.
Nigeria do not have anything. That's why when Burkina Faso took their plane, they had to go and make a deal and sit down with Traoré to get the plane. Why didn't go and use force? They have nothing over there. Listen to me. Nigeria is a big puppet. Ivory Coast, Benin, these guys, if they don't get their act together, listen to me. If African brothers, states do not get their act together and come together, they're in for a ride. They're going to continue.
They're going to be wearing hijabs and have Sharia all up in them.
People talking about Russia. Listen, if Russia wasn't, I understand what you guys saying, but if Russia was in, it would have been worse off. They didn't have no military equipment. France wasn't giving them no equipment. America was. Remember what Traoré said? He asked those Western people for equipment, and they didn't get anything. So it would have been worse. Majority of the equipment these AES have is from Russia, China, and Turkey. So you guys,
I don't think it was going to get worse. They had a foreign military over there. Did you know why the foreign took their military? Because they accused them of. But check the history. That's what I'm telling you,
man. Sadid, you got to stop. 60% of Burkina Faso was overrun with terrorists. When France was there, America had a drone base in Niger. A drone. Could you believe? A drone base in Niger, and terrorists was running amok over there.
Worse than what it is in the world. The biggest
worse than what it is now. Worse than what it is now. So come on, City. Let me be real, man. Come on, man. Let me stop the propaganda. Africans have to come together. If they don't, they're in for serious trouble. I'm telling you guys.
But I'm telling you, the Ivorians had a military over there. They accused them of coup d'etat. They were in Mali. They were
welcome the hijabs and the Sharia.
Where did these terrorists get those uniforms from? And that's the next thing. Mali, these AES, they gotta make their own uniforms and they gotta do their own thing. Because are you telling me? Because I hear people were saying, oh, they're still using those uniforms from the France military. They're still using that, and that's a danger. Because if France is trying to come back in the Sahel, you don't think they're gonna supply those guys with uniforms and all that? Y'all gotta make new uniforms as for the AES and
That's
do different
interesting.
things.
That's
Because
interesting, Babalik, because Guinea
Yeah.
with their own uniform. I thought the other countries in the Sahel would have done the same thing. Being in a war.
that's what
Guinea is
I'm
not in a
saying.
war, but
Yeah,
the uniform they wear, they manufacture it in Guinea.
the
And
manufacturing
I,
in Guinea. Okay.
Babiko, how
and
can someone go to your
Their own
country,
weapon,
right,
their own
and try to
military, their own
help you
military
with,
uniform.
your
Not the
you
with
Sahel.
know,
war situation,
but you know
and
why
then
I
you
gotta give.
accuse them of overthrowing your government? What do you think they're gonna do?
The-
Hey,
But you
see,
know
yeah,
what?
I gotta pass the mic. Go ahead. So what? Unmute yourself. So what?
All right, Dennis, tell
Go
me
ahead.
if you can hear me clearly, yeah?
I hear you.
All right, 1 minute. I'm just gonna say this real quick, right? Rest in peace to Sadio Kamara. You know them way there. It was a soldier in it, and that's what happens when you're in the battlefield and you're a soldier. You fight, and you either get a leave or you either get a die. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna say this, right? I don't want to downplay his life and his tenure or his term as the defense minister of Mali. I've heard his name a few times. We're never really familiar with the brother, but in this endeavor that took his life, there were 130 counts of terrorist members that got killed. Never heard nobody do a live stream on that. Never heard much reports on that. If I'm not someone who has dug deep into the AES and their political endeavor sort of over the past few years, I would have never gotten any research results on that. But it comes up on my feed a lot. But let me say this, right? When you are in battlefield, more especially when you're the defense minister and you're right into war, like for example, the president of Chad a while ago, he passed away in war, and I think his Debbie, that was his name, right? His child took over because he was actually
Idris
going to
Deby.
war.
Yes.
Yeah, Idris Deby, I think it was, isn't it? He went to war and he passed away in war because these are men who go to war and they fight for war. They fight for the best political interests of themselves and their people. You understand? So let's not disrespect these brothers and sisters. Put their international alliances to the side. These men are in their countries. They're fighting to the death of them. And this is an evidence. So what if Sadio Kamara passed away? I don't want to disrespect the brother. What's going to happen is that Mali is going to, or Dumbuya, what's his name again? The leader of Mali again. I'm
Gotcha.
forgetting his name.
Assimi Goita.
Assimi Goita is going to employ another defense minister, and the fight against terrorism is going to move on. It's going to go on. I need you to understand that. Now, understand that these are what revolutions are made of. There's going to be instabilities. There's going to be uncertainties, and we have to understand that through these times, it's going to affect our level of privileges, maneuvering or hovering around Africa, its business, its economics, and its politics. With that said, we have to understand that these are what revolutions are made up of. There are going to be wars that are fought for. There are going to be lives that will be at risk, and some of these lives will be taken away. For example, let's say you had a baby mother, right? I'm going to bring it down to the lowest level. Let's say you had a baby mother. You didn't like her. Maybe you like your kid, maybe you don't like your kid. At the end of the day and night, you're going to have to make sacrifices to look after that woman. Because if you don't look after the woman and your kid, you're going to face certain sacrifices and penalties in the court of law. This takes a toll on you financially, but you have to make those sacrifices regardless. This is what it is. Once again, I'm not going to disrespect the brother Sadio Kamara. However, he's passed away in war fighting against terrorism against his country. We have to respect that. I know a lot of us Black and African people, more especially the men, it's quite disgraceful. However, our mind have been infantile. It's been infantilized from a political perspective. We cannot see a world where Black and African people progress without any sort of instability or wars and fights, battles, pretty much endeavors and adversaries against our interests, our political interests, because we are not built like that. But you can't disrespect these people and come online and say what's next for the AES. What's next? Another defense minister is going to be employed. Rest in peace to some Sadio Kamara. But Assimi Goïta is going to employ another defense minister. And we have to accept this is what revolutions are made up of. It's not going to be convenient. It's not going to be comfortable. There are going to be a lot of instabilities that are going to affect us, even in the diaspora. We have to come to accept that. And the war against terrorism in the Sahel, through Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and Chad, and other countries surrounding that area, including northern Nigeria, is going to happen. It's going to continue going on, and there are going to be some lives that are going to be lost. I don't want to speak about lives being lost in battles and wars as if I'm comfortable with it. However, these are our frontliners. Anyone who doesn't like this, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to detach yourself from African politics. There's a revolution going on out here. You have to accept what comes with it. Do not disrespect the dead, the people that have been in these areas fighting for the lives and the political interests of Black and African people. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I was gonna say. Once again,
Dennis, I got a question for you, please.
What we gonna do when they bust Goita head?
I got a question for you, Dennis.
Go ahead, Elvis. Elvis is asking.
They just bust cuz
Bring them out, bro. That said, I'm gonna leave it at that. Respect the people.
All right, go ahead, Elvis.
So, Dennis, the question is, how do you think those guys got so close to Sadio Kamara's home without there being gunfire from a mile away? Those soldiers are supposed to be protecting his home. How do you think they got there? Because there's rumors
Intelligence
that there
from the
was
Western world.
collaboration. There was collaboration with
Intelligence
these
from the
guys, and they
Western
sold them
world.
out.
Elvis, do you like? So when I was in Benin Republic, this is probably like 5 years ago. The president came to speak at a location I was at. Like he barely had any security. Like they really don't do security like we'd see security here in America as far as our leaders. They don't really do security like that over there. Like literally the president of Benin at the time came to a church to speak. And he had he barely had even a convoy, maybe like 4 guys dressed in old ass faded black suits, that they probably got from like a hand-me-down good, looked like they got it from secondhand from the Goodwill. Like it was just they just don't do security like that.
Well, I think Benin's situation is different, Dennis.
Dynasty.
That was a elected
Dynasty.
president, so
Yes.
if they
But
don't have a
Dynasty,
military leader, they have worse security. It was a just big blow to Mali.
Oh,
For the
no.
fact that they can reach as far to the
I
defense
wanted
minister in
to
Calvi.
respond. I want to respond to
Yeah.
Elvis where he said that Howard got bombed. From what I'm hearing is that there was a car in front of that place, and the bomb was under the car, and it exploded.
Yeah, but still, like, how did it
It's a
start?
weakness.
Yeah, you gotta have security in your house 24/7 if you're a high-profile military guy. Come on,
But
now.
even
If
the
you
part
have
of
Ukraine
Bamako they
involved,
attacked,
Ukraine is
they went as
involved.
far to the
No,
palace.
but
They were
like
closer to
I
the
said,
palace.
I gotta pass the mic. But like I said, they just don't do security like that. Period. Just like even with Matabio, I take that back now. Matabio, he be having security. But a lot of the leaders, they just don't do security like that. From what I've observed. Go Principe, go ahead. And let me apologize about making light about the suits that the Secret Service are wearing. Yeah, but they just look like they just
Tell the truth, okay? What is it? Okay.
The dry cleaning is now on point.
I want to be nice, but it's like they just threw on some suits and some little black faded suits that look like they were secondhand and to look official, like
They
the
look
men in black,
dusty.
and the suits look dusty. And, the
Okay.
president came, spoke, and
Okay.
got
Well,
back
I'm
in his
after.
car. That was it.
So now that the Malian defense minister is killed, can we conclude that Black Winter is officially over? Because they was
Right.
talking about Black Winter up there.
Right.
In
Hold on, I got to pass the mic to Principe. Go ahead, Principe.
All right.
What's up? What's up, Nine? Salute to you. Salute to the panel. The situation is very sad, and salute to the general. But something similar happened in Chad with the father. I think his name was Idris Eby. When he passed away a couple of years fighting in the battlefield. A lot of us we kind of overlook the fact that a lot of the victims are Muslims, and that This is like a result due to the fact that there's extremists trying to push a more extreme Arabized Islam, not only in the Sahel but all throughout different regions of the Sahel in the north and even in parts of Mozambique and Central Africa. So a lot of us kind of minimize the fact that these guys are not fighting clean, and they also have more coordination across borders, right? So we think it is like a standing army, but it's not a standing army. They have sympathizers doing random attacks, and some of them wear regular clothes and they go back into the public. So you're dealing with a army who's being vigilant, going against a entity that utilize some how you call it, the like sympathizers that live amongst the populations to do attacks, right? So we can't just simply say that there's no security. The methodology of which they're utilizing is almost like a peekaboo kind of strategy. I'm an outsider looking in, but when I see the articles, see the stories, they're not fighting like a clean battle. There's a standalone army, then there's a sympathizer, people that's doing sneak attacks, and some of them are even hiding and living amongst the people. So it's not a simple one and done type of situation like on the battlefield. And some of one of the problems with ECOWAS, the AU, all these different entities, there's like a negligence to cross coordinate across borders, which plays into the advantage of the terrorists who hop between borders. You know what I mean? So if you're not going to have a cross-border solution, a cross-border army, a cross-border intelligence, stuff like that amongst African nations, the problem is going to consist because the criminals are utilizing cross borders and different connections from different tribes across the different borders to hide, to attack, and do different stuff like that. You know what I mean? So similar to the situation in Haiti, where the criminals are utilizing different mafia cartels throughout different islands, while the Haitian government is trying to fight it alone. Africa needs to utilize ECOWAS better, utilize the AU better to come up with cross-border solutions and cross-border military tactics. That's all I got to say.
All right, let's pass the mic to Castro Nova. Go ahead, Castro. Mute yourself, Castro.
Peace to everybody on the panel. You know, I know I'm going to come off as an AES hater, but I got to ask these questions because my brain, they ask these questions. I remember Chihuri saying something about Black Winter. So now that the defense minister of Mali has been killed, can we conclude that Black Winter is officially over? And I didn't really hear any scoring.
Why would it be over though?
What does it mean? What's the definition of Black Winter? Explain it to us, please.
Well, it's over technically because it is spring. It's spring, and your defense minister of Mali just got killed. So that's real close. That's real close to Goita.
What is Black Winter though?
Black Winter, you got to ask Shahuri what that is. He said,
"See, you don't even understand what it is, and you're criticizing. I don't understand what it is."
Guy, let Castro finish.
Let me finish. It was supposed to be a military operation where they wreak havoc on the Islamic jihadists up there in the AES in the Sahel. No. It don't seem like they wreaked havoc. It seemed like that havoc was wreaked on them.
Not it.
That's not Black Winter.
That's not it.
So all I'm saying is this is super close to Goita, the leader of the country of Mali. What happens when they get one of these leaders? What are we going to do? I'm not saying this because I'm critical. I am critical, but I'm critical in a good way. What's going to happen? What are we going to do about it? How can we prevent this?
You need to study some more.
Because it seems like they lack in security. It seems like when Wagner or whatever Russian group is not protecting them, they are just inadequate and just not unable to protect themselves. Or maybe they just don't want to protect themselves. Maybe they want the white man to do it.
You are
maybe they feel like the white man's
okay, so I think it rotates back to me if all the new speakers have spoken.
I don't know, but I generally want to know from the people on the panel who really care about AES, what are we going to do?
Okay, look up the Dark Winter. Get a perspective on that.
Saying they're going to do.
All right, let me pass the mic to Say James. Go ahead, Say James.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for having me. I've been waiting all day for this information to happen.
Well, hold on. Lion Champion, I need you to redact what you said, that I was lying about the general unfortunately passing away. The Minister of Defense lying. I need you to retract that. Lying champion. I'll go ahead and say, James.
Yes, I've been waiting. We were waiting for the information. You know, no one had the information, and I believe this is a tough day for us AES. We're not gonna lie about this. Sadio Kamara is the Sahel. You know, he's part of the team that conceptualized, you know, our defense as it relates to fighting terrorism in the Sahel. So, like me being from the Sahel, we are tough. This is tough, but we are tougher. You know, I was listening to an interview of I'm not gonna speak of the country. And the journalist asked him, what's going to happen if you end up getting killed? And the guy responded, don't worry about me, because everybody's in passing over here. So the Sahelian, we know this is tough, but we have the replacement for that. So for most of the country, I want people in Africans to see exactly what's happening. If AES fumbled the ball, I already see certain countries that are not going to make it. We are not jealous. We are just telling you that this is what it is. Someone was telling that we have to come together with ECOWAS. Maybe they're not watching the news. As of last week, AES was in Togo. There were ECOWAS in there. We had friendly conversation. We spoke about the Sahel. We spoke about everything. AES is not against ECOWAS. I want people to understand that fighting against terrorism doesn't mean we have to all be in ECOWAS. We can come together. We can coordinate. We are the children of the Sahel. We can do this. This is not political. Let's not make this political. These people who are after us, they want our land. They want the resources. It's not about jihadists. It's not about Islam. People are talking about it, yes. But the end goal is for us to be removed from our land so they can have the resources.
Right.
So people who don't understand that and they're still debating about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I'm sorry to tell you, you guys are still behind. Every time AES does something, Human Rights Watch is against us. Every time AES does something, the mainstream media is against us. Every time we try something, anybody's against us. So I want you to look at this and ask yourself, do these people really want us to win against terrorism? How is that so difficult for people to understand that we are fighting the devil in this region? Our people forgot about that. For me, it's not about Russia, it's not about the French, it's about my people. So let's not sit here and talk about who we need to help us fight. If the Africans themselves don't see it, then we lost already. You got Traore telling you that we rely on ourselves, and people are here talking about Westerners. What are you talking about? We got what we need from this. We got what we need from Russia. We got it. So let's put up the good fight and save our region and go about our businesses. So somebody's talking about Darfur, the winner. What are you talking about? One guy is dead. So are you telling me we don't have a replacement for that? Although it's tough, why don't you go replace him? If you are that tough, why don't you go replace him? If you really worry about the Sahel, you ain't bringing nothing. You don't add to the progress. All you do is criticize, disrespect. Because we left ECOWAS, that's supposed to be our demise. Before ECOWAS, African country we lived together. ECOWAS was created in 1975. We got our independence in 60. We had our countries.
Right.
We got 6,000 soldiers in the Sahel. We increased that to 15,000. How many soldiers does ECOWAS has? Tell me. What is the strategy fighting terrorism? Tell me. Nigeria ain't doing fine. You don't see ECOWAS stepping in. You don't see ECOWAS stepping in helping Nigeria. You don't see ECOWAS helping Togo's securing the border so that those people don't come to the Sahel. We don't see ECOWAS doing that. Did you even see a statement from ECOWAS today? I haven't yet. Maybe they did. I haven't.
Sure, the
I've seen
United
the
States,
president.
the
Yeah,
U.S. made a
yeah,
statement.
they made a statement saying
Okay,
that.
they made a
Oh,
statement.
okay,
Okay, so,
okay.
so what's the when we're gonna start knowing that this is a major issue for us and we have to start fighting? I told you, Donis, we not when whatever AES is doing, we're not saying we can solve the problems. I never came on here and told you AES is going to solve the problem. It's a major issue. This is an international issue. So it doesn't matter if I'm AES or ECOWAS. It doesn't matter. So these people are still playing politics with this issue. That's the problem. You should ask them why they're playing politics with it. We don't. Savio Kamara, come on, man. They know why they went after that guy. Just watch the news how they kill him. I'm sorry, but we're gonna go to the bottom of it. Like, bro, if there is, I don't want to go there, but I'm just telling you, bro. The next move ECOWAS AES is gonna make, right? I don't want people whining. If we're gonna go after countries, we're gonna have to do it. But I don't want the whining. Any country that's gonna be against AES, we're gonna go after that country. I'm telling
Listen, say James. I hope they go after Mauritania first.
you. Okay,
I hope
I don't
so.
mind that,
I
but
hate
if
I hate that
listen,
place.
Say
and
Mauritania first.
That's
Algeria,
major. That's
we're
major.
gonna.
I hate that
It's
place.
not a problem,
So,
but I'm
can I
talking about
go
the people
after
that
him?
No,
look like us.
it's not the term, Shaw.
No, Dinus, I don't mind these folks. We can take care of that. But I'm telling you about the folks that look like us. You know what I'm talking about. Those are the one.
All right, St. James, I have a quick
Okay,
question.
hold
Well,
on,
hold
hold
on,
on, hold
see,
on.
hold on. But I gotta read the super chat, and there's two people on the panel. Kofi hasn't spoke yet, so before we start asking questions, say James, are you done? Say James.
Yeah, I can pause the mic for the time being,
All
bro.
right, let me read the super chat first. Kim at 1961, thank you for $10 holla. They took out some of Iran's top leaders. They replaced them and moved on. They are still in control of the world economy. We are not on Earth forever. Okay, go ahead, Kofi.
Yeah, peace everyone. Yeah, all right. RIP to the defense minister. Um I think it's plain that the West are backing these groups, and what I from the identity of this group, it looks like they're of Arabic descent. So this is a Arabic versus sub-Saharan Africa or Black Africa. I would just make that divide. Um, if there are right, if there are Black African people that are amongst the terrorists, and there are Arabic-looking people that are amongst the Sahel pack, then I feel like that confuses a lot of things. Then you just have to, if I was in the shoes of these leaders, I'll just try to bring in as much technology as possible, and I would deploy. I would draft all the civilians, and I would just start to hunt. I would just start to hunt people and deploy as many drones. I know they're using these Turkish drones, but I feel like they need to use these AI swarm drones. And I see Burkina Faso, they're manufacturing phones and electric cars. I think they need to go a little bit further and tap into that swarm drone technology to man the border, right? As a replacement um, of lack of people on the border, because it's huge. It's a huge area, and if they really want it, that's what they're gonna have to do. This is a race to arms game, right? So whoever's lacking in that field is just gonna lose, and may the best man win. The EU, they're getting the deals. Um, who's coming to any Black American security forces, right? I think this is an opportunity. It's all fair game. As a U.S. citizen, I would like to deploy my expertise, and I could get contracted and at the same time stay neutral. You know, I that's what I would do, you know. And if my
Okay.
security force wins, then we're gonna expand. And I think that's I don't know. These are just ideas I'm throwing out there, but that's something I'm not seeing, and I think that's needed. It could easily be deployed. That's what I have to say.
Dennis, can I
Okay.
speak, please?
What
Can I
I
speak,
know
please?
after Elvis, it was me. It is rotating around. It was me, and then after
Okay.
Okay.
me, it'll be
Okay. Well, go ahead, Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
Right. Like, I just want to
Elvis spoke
reiterate.
already, though. He spoke already.
No,
You
no,
can ask a
no.
question.
This is my
You
second
did.
round to speak,
No,
please.
Go
this
ahead,
your
Elvis.
third time. You made a submission of
No,
me.
Okay.
Sha,
Yeah.
please, please, let me make a point
Go ahead,
quickly.
Elvis. Elvis after Elvis is shot.
Let Elvis
Okay.
speak. Let it go around again,
Just
please.
to just to reiterate, right, to my brother St. James and others who are AES supporters. Look, I was saying about ECOWAS that there are more power in terms of military force collectively in ECOWAS. Now, if you think that the Sahel shouldn't rejoin ECOWAS, fine. But the negotiation should be taking place now. And the urgency of what's going on to destabilize our entire region, we should go to the ECOWAS and perhaps the AU and form a regional force. Regional force like what we had doing ECOMOG and, and really come together, join forces with the Sahel and the ECOWAS forces and really fight these guys. That's the point I'm making. You don't have to come back in the fold if you don't want to, but militarily, we must come together. It's the only solution. That was my
Now,
point. I'll pass the mic.
AES
No,
made a.
the thing about it
No,
That
is,
I'll
was
I
explain
think
one
that was
second.
terrorism,
next,
right?
though. Yeah,
No, no,
no,
no.
you
You
got to
guys are going to
speak.
speak.
No,
He
it
made
was
a
my
statement.
turn.
Hold
No,
on,
no,
let
guys,
Sir
Dinus
guys,
James
said
guys.
respond.
me
Go
after
ahead, Sir James.
Elvis, right? So don't
No,
jump in because
he
you want to interject.
no, he's gonna
So
respond to
now
what he
this is
said.
the thing that we have to realize, y'all. While all of this is going on, these governments, these administrations like Agdo that was before Mahama, and they have these ongoing agreements with the Western world. Not even just stuff that they're doing recently. This one agreement, I told you guys about the what's going on in the United States. They have the HR 7311 countering the malign effects of Russian propaganda in Africa and in the United States amongst the African diaspora. And they're not talking about Nigerians or Caribbeans. They're talking about all black folks in the United States that they're going to be surveilling us. Okay, so that was a bill that was passed 4 years ago. Then you have the Global Fragility Act. I just found out, I just looked up what any gains that they have made, and this is what the countries that are involved in it. Haiti, Libya, Mozambique, Papua New Guinea, coastal West Africa, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Guinea, and Togo. And the purpose is aims to address not the GFA Global Fragility Act aims to address the root causes of violence before they escalate into full-scale crisis or require costly military interventions. Conflict prevention, whole of government approach, integrating 3D diplomacy, State Department development, USAID. Listen to this 10-year strategy. Now I ask the question, what gains have they made? And this is what they said. Key gains in Africa, coastal West Africa, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Guinea, Togo. Border stabilization. Programs in vulnerable northern border areas have successfully reduced local conflict. Listen to this bullshit. Refugee integration into Cote d'Ivoire. Funding piloted initiative projects to support over 50,000 refugees from the Sahel, promoting peaceful interdependence with. So they have these organizations that are happening that along with these think tanks and stuff that they're doing these things, and these agreements are up and going agreements in these countries where they're doing these things, and we're not saying nothing. We don't know about it. They're not saying anything, but these are the kinds of things that are public when you know about it. These are things that kind of can happen, and you hear about it through the grapevine. But I'm saying this is what we're dealing with. Why the Sahel is in the condition that it's in now because of the Global Fragility Act, and they're pumping money into doing these things that I just made. Those are their games. It's just out there for us. If we get wind of the information, we need to let each other know. But we've got to hold these leaders accountable and bring these things out because those types of things need to be addressed, dealt with, and the people that are involved in that need to be rooted out too. We need to find out who's the person that's dealing with the Global Fragility Act in Ghana.
Who's the key point, and what are they doing?
I
They trying to
want
get they trying to
I
get
want to
paid.
I wanted to respond to Elvis, right, when he said that we need to get like
Yeah,
ECOWAS
it's
and
your turn now,
AU.
anyway.
So I don't know if he remembers, but they had the G5 Sahel, which it was Niger, Mali, was it Cameroon, and the other Sahelian countries. But the problem was that most that funding came from the EU. The EU funded the G5, and what happened was, for example, a terrorist will go cross into Mali, will go shoot or attack a base, and they'll run to Niger because they can't cross each other borders. They have to ask the other country to get permission to cross over. So they did have the G5 thing, but it's a failure, and they got funded. That's why it wasn't successful, right? That's why the AES came together and said, you know what? Since we're having this problem, we need to have a borderless solution, which if a terrorist comes and attacks you from one side and try to cross over, you have the authorization to go. And that's why the AES was got created. And they're self-funded. The problem is ECOWAS is not self-funded. 60% of the funding comes from the EU. Same thing with the AU. And you ever notice that anytime the EU criticizes or says something, ECOWAS and the AU also says the same thing. But the problem is that most of these countries don't want to self-fund. And then, like I said, Elvis, ECOWAS has been talking about a freaking regional force since 2000. I think in 2001, they've been talking about it. It's 26 years, and they still haven't had a force, a 2,000 force, because they don't want to fund it. But that's why the AES went to create the investment bank from that 5% levy. That's why they was able to increase the number. Went from 5,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 15,000. And also, I want people to understand, right? They're not fighting a conventional war. They're fighting an unconventional war, or these demons that do hit and run tactics. They go, they kidnap freaking people, use them as shields. They go, they grape women. They go, they kidnap kids. They do a lot of wicked stuff. They literally had they literally unalived 1,000 terrorists, which is unheard of in an unconventional war. Freaking, we was in Afghanistan for 20 something years. We had a hard time there. Same thing with Vietnam. Same thing with the Russians went to freaking Afghanistan. They had a hard time because you're fighting an unconventional war. They're using guerrilla tactics. It's not easy what they're fighting. But the thing is that if they're going to fight, the only people that could fight are themselves, because they know the region better. This is why Burkina Faso is so successful in what they're doing, because they know the region. If a terrorist goes to a village, they can say, "Hey, where you from?"
Folks,
And they can't
let me
answer.
say this right. For you listening, I don't know why so many
Yeah,
people are so
Yeah, I didn't get to finish,
if
adversarial
you,
but
to
you haven't
the
finished, yeah, I know it's my
AES.
turn to speak.
Like, I don't get it.
Ma-
But can you not hear
Is
me?
it
Yeah.
finished? Have you finished, Manzik? No, it
yeah,
was my turn to finish.
I didn't get to finish. Just give me 30 seconds. I was going to land too,
All
and
right.
also
Go
too,
Yeah,
ahead.
okay.
they got to understand also, these demons had uniforms, right? They snuck in. And I have to give the Malian the farmer credit, because it could have been worse and deadly. They could have had friendly fire. But guess what? Because they were so disciplined, or what they did, they was able to determine who was a true farmer, who was not. So whoever want to see those videos, I recommend you go to Alpha Casino, go to Andre TV. You see those Malians, whatever. If this was freaking any other country and those terrorists had came, people would have been running. But guess what? When those terrorists was there by themselves, the locals went after them and freaking lynched them right there on the spot. Unheard of. So you got to give these guys their credit. They're trying. And then the last question to the dude was talking about if it's still going to continue, because Sada Kamara dies. When war comes, people die. But understand that just because they die, the revolution don't stop. It continues. You just
Yeah,
replace that person, you keep
real talk.
going. But
Yeah, that's
that's what
Mm.
I
the
want to say.
Lions. That's the Lions.
Yeah,
Shout
wait.
out to you, my
Yeah,
brother.
you
Shout out
finished,
to you, my brother.
Manzik?
Let me
No,
say
but
this right.
okay,
Let me
make
say
it quick
this
because it's my turn.
real quick.
Mm.
No, brother, chill out, bro. That's the
But
lines
gonna
in
tell
which I
me
was
chill
going to
out when you're
speak.
talking over me. Sorry, but
Brother,
make it
chill
quick.
out,
I'll let you
fam.
speak.
Chill out, bro. Chill out, man. Well, going for you. Well, anyway, let me say this. Let me say this still, right? That's on the lines in which I was going to speak, right? I was going to say,
All
right?
right,
I don't
make
know.
it quick then.
Kasha is
I'll
the
let you
brother
speak.
name. Ah, Jesus. Ah,
Hmm.
chill out. That's the, but Kasha is the brother's name, right? Yeah, say something about it. Those Black Winter continue. Bro, when you quit a job, the company don't stop running, my bro. You understand? That's a new defense minister is going to get employed in Mali, and the revolution is going to continue going, like I said earlier on. That's about that. With that said, I don't know why so many people are so adversarial in their positions towards the AES. Look, it's a revolution going on there. It might not necessarily be the most convincing or the most comfortable to us in the West when in regards to maneuvering and hovering around the politics of West Africa, but it's all right if you
Okay.
are not
Look.
if you are
All
not
right. Okay.
convinced enough to
All
engage
right.
in African politics with this level of um affairs or change in affairs that are going on in the AES, just detach yourself from African politics. Simple as that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. So yeah. Mansik, on point. You know, it's nice to listen to people that know what's going on in the ground. So yeah, basically this these issues that are going on in the Sahel is something that came back. It's revitalizing itself. You know, if you look at if you read the ancient wars, the ancient issues in the Sahel, it comes back as when it goes back to what Kidola said. It's all started again when these people have a little bit upper hand, you know, with the downfall of Gaddafi and the true color comes out. And obviously, we know for a fact, you know, we have the external factor that add into the issue, you know, and also we know the Sahel is where most of our mineral resources are lied. In you know, it's just a fact. And I feel sorry for the brothers in the Sahel because they're stuck in a rock and a hard place, you know, and you know. If they have human rights behind them if they do certain things, but then at the same time, if they want to acquire certain equipment to do the job, they have so many conditions, you know, that actually put on top of them that make it hard. Nigeria is a good example. When Boko Haram started, you know, the former president who died, he ran around to get to kind of jets to fight these terrorists that Obama dislodged in Libya, who ran into Nigeria, killing people. And guess what? They said to him, "No, we're not going to sell you this thing because the way you're fighting these terrorists, you're abusing human rights. It's not the right way, so we cannot sell you these weapons." If I'm not mistaken, the weapon that they used, Buhari managed to go to Pakistan out of all the countries in the world to sell them these weapons. And it's the same thing that St. James said the other day that I went back and looked into it. See, he was right that Traore did not allow Wagner to enter into Burkina Faso. They only came in to train their forces and do the groundwork and leave. They did not get involved into the nitty-gritty of the wars. And that was a very smart move by Traore because you cannot let people into your own internal issue because you don't know how the outcome might end up looking like.
Hey,
And this is
we
the
have
problem.
we have a new caller. Let me pass the mic. Allah bless Sadio. Go ahead, unmute
Okay.
yourself.
Okay.
Allah bless Sadio. Unmute yourself. One more time. Allah bless Sadio. Unmute yourself. Okay, there we go. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just one of those, and also we need to look at the African Union again, you know, to actually look into this issue very hard and say, look, this is it's an internal issue. Let's build a force like an internal force. We need to have what they call a national union service where people join the army at a certain age.
Good
They teach
luck.
them about yeah, well, I know where kids are taught about patriotism, so you don't have an outside force that will come into your country and destroy it. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much we trying to blame, you know, our external enemies, you know, they're going to come. They're going to keep coming. You know, we need to look at our own internal issue and solve that. And I said this long time ago. Throughout African history, the coastal countries have been used against the internal, you know, African land, like what you just read just now, Shah. I said this in the past. It turned to a massive argument. The coastal countries and the Sahelian countries have never been united, and these people know this. And they would use one country against another. They use one region against another. And for the fact is, ECOWAS or African
The
Union
problem is
and
Islamic terrorists, not countries. Those are
okay,
people killing these people.
you're trying to drag me into a religious bigotry, but that's fine.
No,
I'm not gonna go to that.
who killed Kamara? Was it the Ghana? Was it Ivory Coast, or was it the Islamic terrorists that killed the guy?
I am
Let me
listening. I
come
am.
in. My time. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not
All
gonna
right,
buy into
my
this
my uh,
debate.
my
I am.
my
That
my
was
my guy, my connecting and my friend in Mali said that Gortez he's safe, but Minister
Good.
Defense.
Good stuff.
yeah. So
Good news.
my whole thought again is I think in Burkina Faso, especially Ouagadougou, they have civilians, right? They have more security compared to Bamako or Agua or Gidel that was attacked by the terrorists. I think Mali don't have that much internal security, right? The door is too open for them to go as far as killing Seydou Kamara in his hometown, Katie. That was a big blow. But again, they have to learn the amount of security system they have in Burkina Faso. I don't think it's what happened in Mali can really happen in Burkina Faso. They seems to have this situation under control a little bit, you know. But my thing is the way Asin Kuta came into power, and they had other regional forces there at that time. They had Guinean forces, they had Ivorian forces. So when he came, he was more concerned about protecting his leadership. So he arrested the Ivorian soldiers, accusing them of treason, that they wanted to overthrow him, which of course was not true, because they were there fighting the terrorists. And at that time, the terrorists have not advanced to this level, right? So he did the Ivorian military for almost 2 years. ECOWAS have to negotiate to free those guys from Mali and send them back to Ivory Coast. So that was the tension. I don't know why he did that. But again, the guy that just got killed, Osedu Kamara, I think probably he was the most trained military officer in Mali, far better than Asin Kota himself. You know, but again, this is a big blow. Not only attacking, not only killing him, but they went as far as targeting his palace. They wanted to kill the president himself. So the door is too open, and opening all these mosques, letting all these Islamic terrorists into these mosques, and that's not going to help. They have a lot of sympathizers in Mali, right, because of the political situation, you know. And when he got rid of the prime minister that was there, I think when he spoke about election, then he fired him. But this guy supported him throughout, right? So there's a lot of tension in Mali, when it comes down to power. I don't think if all the people that in Bamako really giving that support to Asin Kota, most of them not really happy. So what they do
May,
is to
may,
open.
may I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I have friends who's from Mali, one of my close brothers. He told me that there's two different issues there. One is there's extremist Islamic people that's trying to getting funded by the Middle East to further the Arabic Islam expansion. And he says too, there's a Tuareg separatist group also fighting in the north. Which because basically which entity attacked this general here? If you can if you know.
I think it was the
I think it was
Tuareg.
I think it was a
Tuareg,
combination of both.
Yeah. Well, I think the
Tuaregs,
Tuareg
I
were
think.
more, but then I mean, so that's why you have when you come down to political situation, you have to be very careful. When Ibika was there, he included some of the Tuareg into the leadership, right?
Mm,
But
yeah.
now when Asin Kota came, he got rid of all these Tuareg.
No, 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 no,
No
no, no,
matter
no, no,
what
no,
you
no, 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 no. See, don't go there. The mayor of Kidal is Tuareg. There's a lot of Tuareg in the
no.
administration.
Oh, is it?
Look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Even the
Li-
governor,
Even
the
in the
governor is
army.
I'm
Torres.
telling you right now, when
But
you
Even
what
no, no, no,
happened to
no.
what happened to the combined fighting force of the AES? Are they not in each other country, or they
See, I
just in
think
their
No,
some
own
of the
they
countries?
are
Tuaregs in the
mainly
military
based.
also.
No,
no
see, they
the
look it up.
No, no. The
Look it
reason
up.
I'm
How?
saying that, I'm not saying he's 100% or I mean got rid of all
Okay,
of them,
okay, all right.
but it because government were more inclusive, right?
I'm not sure
And,
about that. That
and,
with government is not inclusive. I don't know. I can't compare the two, but
well,
Mali's by region, right? If you say the Tuaregs are not included, then we have a false statement there because the
yeah,
governor Kidal
Yeah,
is a
Tuareg.
Tuareg.
but
The
what I'm saying
military
is that
forces in Kidal are
Ibeka government.
Tuareg, mainly composed of Tuareg soldiers
Right. But
fighting
what I'm
against other
saying,
Tuaregs.
Ibeka
Mhm.
government were more inclusive compared to the military. But let
I'm
me
not
ask you
sure.
this, in Jim. Why
Mhm.
you think that they arrested all these Ivorian military and accused them of trying to overthrow him, and he kept them for 2 years?
Okay.
And that has a serious impact on the morale of the military
Okay.
too, because
Okay.
they had
Okay.
joint operation with the Malian soldiers.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but these people came under the banner of the G5 Sahel. They didn't came because of bilateral relationship between Mali and Ivory Coast. Like when you were alluding to Guinea, right?
Hmm.
All these forces that came to Mali, they came under the banner of the G5 Sahel, the French, the Europeans. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
you
know.
remember,
Yeah.
yeah, but so now it's not excluded, right? Since you are talking about it, if Guinea says calls Mali today and says and tell Mali, we feel like crossing the border and coming to help you. I don't think Mali is gonna say no. You remember when Sonko, when he was in
Right.
opposition, right? When he
Hmm.
said the same thing to Mali. He said if I win the elections and the war is not done, once I get to become president, I will send forces to help Mali. He did that. There is video for that, right? He became president. What
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, he
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
What
Hmm.
happened? So
yeah,
when we have
yeah,
bilateral
sure.
relationship, then I have no, because when this 59 soldier came to Mali, there were already tension between the two countries. So Mali arrested them because they didn't have the proper documentation. That's what
No, no,
Mali was
no, no,
saying.
no, no, no,
This
no.
they said
Say,
Mali. No, no,
Jim,
no. Let me
he
explain.
accused
Let me
them
explain.
overthrow that
No,
he
let me
wanted to
explain.
overthrow his
No,
government.
no, I get you. I get you. Let me explain.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
that was what Mali said. I'm not saying they were is that's what they said. So when they arrested them, they didn't have proper identification, and the forces that were there, they checked with the forces to see if they were expecting 59 soldiers from Ivory Coast to Mali. They said no. That's what Mali said.
Yeah, but
So
Yeah, Sanchez, I'm a bit
these
surprised
guys
on
they
that
put them in
actually,
prison.
CD.
They were in prison in Bamako
Yeah,
for two
but they were
years
well
because
treated. They took care of them. There was not when the
No, I'm
international
not.
community said they
It's
were
not a matter
prisoners,
of
right?
whether they treated
look,
them or not.
No,
But
right,
these
right,
guys
right.
they
But
went
if you,
there to help Mali.
yeah,
But if
but you take
let
it.
us say if we I'm in a neighboring country, right? I know
Mhm.
the situation that you guys going through. It
Right.
would definitely escalate to Ivory Coast. So what they
Okay.
did, Guinea contributed troop, Mali
Mhm.
contributed to troop,
Right.
Senegal promised that they're going to contribute troop, right?
Right.
The
Right.
reason why Senegal or Jamal Fall decided
Mhm.
that I'm not going to contribute troop because the way they treated the Ivorians, right?
Nah.
So
yeah, but CD,
this is what
Mm.
happened. They
See,
arrested
see,
them.
CD,
you
let
are
me tell
you
you one
are you
thing.
are conflating
Yeah,
the two. Any forces that came under the G5 Sahel, you see what I'm saying? They were not there
mm,
because of the government made a deal
you
directly
see,
with Mali. They didn't. They
mm,
made a deal
mm.
directly with the G5 Sahel
Guinea's
that was
been helping
controlled.
Mali on in all
Right,
fairness and James.
right. No,
Yeah,
no, I
they've been
get that,
helping
but you
Mali.
see, but it
Yeah,
doesn't. You see, okay,
mm,
Donis, since
mm,
Elvis made a great point, right? And I don't know if you
mm,
have the time. There is the
yeah,
president of the African Union was in Burkina Faso last week. You can play, well,
that's
this
how.
week,
Yeah,
beginning of this week.
mm,
Just play the
mm.
video of what he said about the situation in the Sahel. He came in there. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm.
Elvis, we not like listen. If ECOWAS won, we can meet at the African Union and create the task force. It's not an issue for AES. But like what
They're
Mensik
still
was
working
telling you,
together, St.
we
James. They're
right,
still
we are
working in
worried.
different ways. Mm.
Right, in different
Yeah,
way it
you're
can
right.
work. We
You're
we are
right. Yeah,
we are
you're right.
smart. We can do it. But what I'm
Mm,
trying to tell
mm.
you, Africa, people want to
Yeah,
attack AES by saying that we are against ECOWAS. That because of the fact that we left ECOWAS, we don't want to partner with them. This is not true. And again,
that's not true.
Mensik was telling you we have a problem with
Mm,
ECOWAS about the funding. Whoever fund it will control it.
mm,
If ECOWAS
mm,
can put up the funds so we can partner
mm,
and fight this thing, I
mm.
don't think that would be a problem. When the president of
No.
the African Union came to Burkina Faso, right, this week,
Mm,
He visited many places. He said, you know what? I saw for myself. He prayed
Right.
thoroughly. The video is there. It's
But
not
what does
AI. It's not
ECOWAS do? ECOWAS doesn't do
ECOWAS.
anything. What do
Remember
they
when I
do?
came on here, I told you Tinubu was the president of ECOWAS for 2 years and
Yes.
never visited us? The
He's
guy from
useless.
AU,
Useless.
African Union, at least he came to Burkina Faso. Tinubu didn't
Right.
visit nobody.
Yeah,
Tinubu never
they
visited
don't do
all
Well, I
anything.
African.
mean, you don't depend. But that's what I
It's like a
said.
it's like a
But
Ghana.
social
First of
club.
all, what
Sidi,
the Ghanaian
St. James is
president do?
right.
He
Tinubu never
accused.
visited even the neighboring African countries since he's been
No,
in
no,
power.
don't count
That
on
man just
And
went.
Tinubu.
He's a
Don't count on
useless man.
Tinubu.
how are you
Tinubu
going to
is
have
just.
a block organization that's supposed to deal with the economic development of the region, and half of your members or more have half of their money in France? That don't even
Yeah,
make no
exactly.
sense.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that's
that's why we
exactly what
said
we're
we
Was
talking
came.
that
about.
was
It's
that the
just
ECOWAS
farce. It's a
fault that the
farce.
money is in France? The ECOWAS tell
Now
them to put
since
the money in France.
now since everybody knows it, right? Not everybody know it, right? They know how AES move. Our main problem is being in a room with our enemy. If ECOWAS,
Mm,
don't come with those folks and they want to put up the money, then it becomes an
mm,
African problem, African solution. So we're gonna do it,
mm.
but we're not gonna go meet ECOWAS halfway. With our enemy sitting next to them. No, we're not gonna do that.
And
But
if you're
St. James, let
befriending
me
my
let me give you
enemy,
a little history, right? You know this
if
already.
you're
But
Nigerian, you're befriending my enemy. What does that make
but
you
let me
to
let me
me?
say this, right, Shah?
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
look, during the wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone, do you know the United States government was the largest funder of the formation of ECOMOG? Those Western countries that now people call their enemies, they
Yeah, that's a
funded.
fact.
No.
Yeah,
You're not getting the
hold on.
point, Elvis. You're not.
I
You're
got
not
you,
getting the
St. James.
point.
I'm not against you. Let me just make the point. I just want
No.
to say
No.
that they're not always for the bad. They literally sent hundreds of millions of dollars. Nigeria put a lot of money in a few other countries, but they were the largest funders for those ECOMOGs, troops to go into those countries and try to bring peace. So they're not always against your interests.
But do you
How
know
do you
why
know
they
that?
funded
How do
that?
you know? How do you know?
Because
Right?
I
When
was
you talk
there,
about,
I
no,
was
no, no.
there
Let me,
during
let
the
me
war
respond
when
to your point. Let me
ECOMOG
respond.
came,
Let
and
me
they
respond to
saved
your
many
question,
No, the
right?
lives.
poorest countries in the
Let me
world are
respond
in
to
the
your question.
ECOWAS organization. The poorest countries in the world are in the ECOWAS organization. The poorest countries in the world, and then we're sitting here talking about they're not always bad. And then you've got your they become your enemy, right? The French and who else is
Elvis,
your enemy? And now your
you just made
brothers
a
next
false
to
statement.
you are messing with them. They're messing with your enemy. What does that make them? What does that make Nigeria? Nigeria is now your enemy.
Nigeria funded about 70 to 90% of the war in Liberia during the ECOMOG. Elvis, again, I don't know where you get this figures from.
Okay,
And
That's not,
even
no, no,
under
no.
that's not true.
What Elvis is
General
saying is true. Even the uniform, the Ghanaians
Right.
couldn't even get uniform for themselves. The
ECOMOG
Americans gave
Community
them
of West
uniform.
African State Monitoring Group
Nigeria
was
was the
primarily
biggest funder
funded,
from
equipped
Africa, but the
by
United States and other
Nigeria,
European
which
Elvis.
countries
contributed
sent a
roughly.
lot of money to
Look, let me
form
finish.
ECOMOG.
Elvis. The Nigerian government, okay, funded 70 to 90% of the troops and financial resources during the Liberian War, and
Yeah,
contributors,
Af-
including ECOWAS member states. Okay, so these are not just stop making up. The United States, yes, they did support a little
Africa.
bit, but
I want,
again, you're lying.
I
Yeah,
want to
sorry,
add
you're going,
something.
man.
Well, no, I want to add something what you said too. Like now, let's look for
Yeah.
example. Anyone remember the health bill, right? With the U.S. came with that the health first went to
Hmm.
Burkina Faso and Niger, right? And
Mm,
Elvis was saying that how, from what I don't remember what he said word for word. He was just saying that, oh look, you see, even Burkina Faso has to sign the deal.
mm,
But here's the difference between Burkina Faso and those other countries. When they
mm,
signed that deal, they became a co-investor, meaning that they put up their own money. So pretty much the US does not have control of what they're saying. Same thing with
mm,
Niger. You know what countries that didn't do that? Kenya,
Zimbabwe and Zambia
Madagascar. The ones that
right.
rejected it completely, Zambia,
and Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. They didn't become co-investors, but Burkina Faso and Nigeria became co-investors. That's why they knew that if the U.S. went and funded most of the health system, they would have to dictate what they can do and what they can't do.
Hey,
Right.
hey guys,
Right.
let me pass the mic to Allah bless Sadia. Hopefully, his Obama phone's working now. Go ahead, Allah. Unmute
Right.
yourself.
Yeah. Dynasty, man, how you doing, man? This is Bang right here.
That's Bang.
Oh God.
Yeah, Bang, man. Long time no
What's
hear,
up,
man.
Bang? What's up,
I
Bang?
knew it's
This
gonna be
pause,
him,
man.
bro.
this mayor right here is so corrupt, man. Democrats are so goddamn corrupt, man. You know, the roads are a little bumpy out here, a little bit. But the reason why I said, Allah bless Sadio Mane, right? Okay, Sadio Kamal. This is the reason why, right? When I did my homework on this dude, right? He was connected with the Russian. How? He was trained over there in Russia, right? He spoke the language as well, right? Now look at it, right? If you truly look where the entire country was compared to 10 years ago, right? And how the country is right now, you have to take your hat off to these people. I don't care. I do not care. You have to take your hat off to these people, right? Because you just look at the strength of the military wise. If I'm not mistaken, in Africa, right? I think the Malian farmers are ranked like number 2 or number 3. I think they rank number 1 behind Ivory Coast, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, now look at the objective, right? That these so-called, Western puppets, right? Foot soldiers. Because a lot of people don't understand what jihad means. A lot of people don't understand what jihad is. They just throw the word, oh, jihad. A lot of people don't understand it, right? Look at their goal, right? Their goal was to overthrow the government, right? Did they achieve that? No. Assimi Goïta is still in power. So which means that they didn't achieve the goal at all. And I remember, right? I spoke to a lot of Fulani people, right? They said, oh, like our people getting unalive in the AES, man. Come on, we gotta do something about it. I seen the videos and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, what you mean? Then they say, oh, the army is going around killing our people in the villages and stuff like that. I seen the video of the soldiers, everything, right? I said, no. That's not the Malian army. That's not true. That's not Burkina Faso armies, right? And look at how the strategy, the so-called army, the so-called Western country foot soldiers, they did, right? They dressed like the Malians as well, right? As the Malian soldiers, everything. They had the badge, they had everything from up and down. So which means that it came from somewhere else, right? So if this same videos was passing around saying, oh, the AES are killing Fulani people, right? Stuff like that, right? So it was the same people going around killing innocent Fulani people as well, and they're passing the videos on social media telling these young kids, oh, come and join us, man. They're killing your people and stuff like that. It proves now the point, right? Because how did they came to Bamako? How did they came to Kadal? They went through looking like the army soldiers as well. Where did all these uniform came from? And years ago, right, before Assimi Goïta took power, right, the entire uniform, the soldiers, military-wise, came through where? France. France used to dress them people up. Where
They
did
are
these people come
Islamic
from?
terrorists. Stop the cap and stop blaming
Hold
other
up,
Let the
people.
bro.
man speak, man. Stop speaking.
I'm not
Yo,
Leader.
speaking.
shut
I'm
up, shut
talking.
up, Africa. You guys are always trying to cap for these
Can I
Fulanese
finish my thought,
terrorists.
God?
No, but
Diners
let the
played the
man speak. You
video.
can say what you
They would
like.
say Allah Akbar in the video. They wasn't talking about they
You
killed
can
my
say
people.
what you can
They
say
would
what you
say
like,
Allah is
bro.
the
No one.
greatest
Hey,
in the
can
video.
I finish my thought,
Yo,
man? Can
Islamic
I finish
terrorists.
my?
Don't blame anybody. We're
Can I
not
finish
stupid. Don't
my
try to
thought?
insult
Guys,
our
bang
intelligence.
Can
out.
I
He's
finish my
totally
thought
drowned
before
out.
some Can I
Bang.
finish my thoughts before some
God.
incapacity, somebody, always, come in and, say everything because, whatever it is, that's your business. But because I know for sure,
Your people are
their
terrorists and
goal.
they deserve to be
Can I
killed
finish?
if they're
Oh my
terrorists.
God, can
Know
I
that.
finish, man? Can I finish? Can I finish? You could call anything you want to call something, as long as you don't have the power
Call it
to do
terrorism.
it.
What it is. Don't
You could
say
call
calling
anyone.
anything. It's
Hold up.
terrorism.
But let me
You're
finish my
ashamed of
thoughts,
it.
man. You could go.
But
Can I finish my thoughts?
Let him finish.
Elvis,
Can I
let the
finish my
man speak,
thoughts?
man. What's wrong with you, bro?
Exactly. Yes. Godly.
It's
You ain't
like, are
nobody,
you
man.
alright up there?
You not nobody.
We're just
You
angry
not
that you
nobody.
guys keep trying to
The
kick for
AES
your
got
ethnic group and not
downfall.
admit that they're
Elvis, let him
partaking in
finish,
Let me
man.
finish my
terrorism.
thoughts.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
No,
And this is
everybody
my
here
thought.
knows the truth. You cannot
Oh,
make it
you
up.
guys don't
Just
say it. Only
fine.
I'm not the only one saying it.
Okay. Let
Say
me
that
finish my
those guys are
thoughts.
terrorists and they deserve to be killed. Say
Let me
it.
finish my thoughts. Let me finish my thoughts, please, and then you could go back to whatever lack of capacity that you don't have. But anyway, so now, right, the objective was to overthrow the government. The plan was excellent. I'll give it to them. The plan was excellent. But did they achieve it? No. So some people would come up here and tell you, oh, they're gonna go back to ECOWAS. They're gonna go do this, they're gonna do this. No, because you know why? The plan did not work. Assimi Goïta is still the president. As long as Assimi Goïta is still the president, you can say all you want. You can say all these things. The objective, they did not achieve it. You understand me, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, who's it, man? Principe? I know you're
Yeah,
the voice,
Principal.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. Recently, I seen on an article that Mali terminated some kind of deal that they had with Morocco, right? In terms of something dealing with the Sahel, right? Do you think these attacks are connected to that, as well as Niger went to visit Algeria? Do you think that some of these
Good
people
question.
that's
Good
trying to be
question.
separatists is connected to these attacks?
Good
And
question. Good question, my brother. What people have to understand is this, right? Mali is bigger than Nigeria. Mali is 10 times bigger than Burkina Faso. Mali is surrounded by Algeria as well. Within the north of Mali, right, there's a tremendous amount of oil right there. Tremendous amount of oil. We already know what the West does for, for oil, right? You seen what they did to, Venezuela, right? So we already know how far they could go and desperate for that gold, right? That black gold.
It's
What
just
the
a
issue is
desert
now is,
country. It's
yeah,
just a
the issue is now
desert.
with Mali, right? As we can speak, right? They connect to 2 Arab countries. Because this thing, also, it has to do with race. It has to do with race. Honestly speaking, I'm not gonna lie to you. It has to do with race. So,
It has to do with
anybody can come up
religion.
here.
That's the primary focus of it.
You man, come on. I ain't got time for
Elvis,
idiots, man. I ain't
listen,
got time for idiots.
bang,
You
bang,
want
It
to
bang.
has to
This
do with
guy here,
religion,
this
bro.
guy from Liberia, right?
it does.
CD, CD, CD.
Why
CD,
why can't these
I've seen
guys
it.
just say the truth?
CD,
I mean, it's so
CD,
pathetic.
CD,
It
CD,
has to
CD.
do
I
with
feel so
religion.
disappointed. CD, I feel so disappointed when you allow someone like Elvis to come here and spew that nonsense
Yo,
when
yeah,
doing it
let
like
Bang
CD
Liberia.
is not even offended
let
by
His
it. You
people,
guys
let
are the one
Bang
his
that's
people
finish.
were
offended by it.
basically
Let
killing
Bang finish
Muslims
his
in
point.
Liberia.
30 seconds. I'ma shut up.
Hold on, hold
Your
on. Let
people
Bang
were
finish his
killing
point.
Muslims in Liberia. You
Let Bang
exposing
let
yourself
Bang finish his
live
point.
on here.
Let Bang finish his
30
I will
point.
seconds. I'ma
actually
shut
come
up,
up to
right?
that after. Let Bang finish. Let me
It
just
has to
address
do
this
with
guy.
religion.
Yes, thank you. Mali's about 98% Muslim. Common sense. Anyway, Algeria betrayed, Mali because you know why? They're Arabs. I can understand it because they want their so-called what those people? It start with the A. I forgot the name. They trying to create their own
Amazigh
country. Yeah, exactly. This is what
and
Azawad.
the
see.
Tim and the Timashek.
Mali is different from all these other 2 countries. That's what people don't understand. But anyway, Assimi Goita is still the president. Saito Kamara, man. Allah bless you, man, because you know why? Blessing comes in a different form. At least your work will never go in vain because you know why? You make the Malians, military
Hey,
10 times
guys,
strong. 10 times
real
strong.
quick. Hold on, real quick. It was a suicide bomber that targeted his residence.
Oh yeah, they
Okay.
did.
Yeah,
And
I
the
said it.
man, and man,
Explosive.
and Adonis, the man
Yeah.
held it down though. You watch it. He held it down. He made it to the hospital. He held it down like a
Wow.
true
Wow.
Sahelian.
Exactly.
He held it
Yeah,
down.
Wow.
exactly.
You
People
Wow.
don't
know,
understand, man. Have you seen the videos?
That's
No.
that's a
Listen,
tactic of a particular religion that suicide bomb
listen,
themselves.
man.
No.
We know who they are.
Man, look at the
You
Timashek.
are
Muslims,
so
man. What they
obsessed
did to
with
the Muslim
religious
soldiers.
topic. Do you know
Look
why?
at it. Look
Because
at it.
you, your crew
Timashek.
You
people, who
guys
are
are running
loyal to
away from it.
Liberia
I'm
and
not
West
running away
Africa,
from it.
Man,
you were the
African
one that
flag.
killed
All of these
Muslims in
Man.
organizations
Liberia.
have the
No.
word
Exactly.
Islamic in their title. The
Hey,
Islamic State in West
Listen,
Africa. No, but
during
it's not
during the
about
Liberian
Islam.
Civil War,
Elvis.
They
you
call
were
Elvis.
themselves
literally
Islamic,
targeting
Let
and you
Magenta
think it's not
Muslims
about
in
the
Keep
Liberia.
religion.
trying to
I
derail
And
mean,
you're
him.
not
come
Let
even
on.
from
Bang finish. Let
Liberia.
Bang
You
finish.
actually no, your
who's
crew
the
tribe were
president?
eating monkeys
Everything you
and
say, I
bushmeat.
agree with you, Africa.
You nearly
But you
wiped out
have to agree these
us
guys
with
are
Ebola.
terrorists.
You nearly
Anything
killed
you
us
say, I
in
agree
West
with
Africa with
you.
Ebola
You have
because
to
you ate
agree
monkeys.
they're terrorists, and it's about their religion. So
Yes,
let's
that's
both agree.
terrorism. Yes.
Who's
Okay,
the
then
president
I
of
agree with anything you
Liberia? Let
said.
me see.
They don't like the type of
Go ahead,
Islam
Bang.
that they're practicing. They
Exactly.
want them to
No, no,
practice a
no,
form
no,
of.
no. Side. You
You're
see,
not allowed to say
you
that
see.
side. They're
People,
gonna try to,
That's part of it. That's not all
you
of
see.
it
A
though,
lot
because
of
it's
people don't
also the
understand what's
resources.
jihad. A lot of
Hold
people don't
on.
understand what jihad. You guys don't understand the word. You don't understand the word out of it. You just open your big mouth, man. I ain't got time for somebody that come up here every day and say,
you
I
eat
believe in
literal food that
compassion.
got
I
parasites
ain't
eating
got
your
time for
brain from
people
drinking
like that, man.
unpasteurized milk. You
I ain't
think
got
you
time
think
for
you're
people
smarter than me,
that
fool?
talk down on his own
Okay,
people. You
okay.
don't
You don't
respect
understand.
your own people, man. You
Let's
talk down on your own people.
some decorum, please. Some decorum.
Yeah, you talk down on
Yeah,
your own
let Bang
goddamn
finish.
people,
Let
man.
Bang finish.
You talk
Let
down
him
on your
Don't
finish.
own
start with me,
goddamn
man.
people. You ain't got
we,
no capacity, man. Because you're African. You said it. I ain't said it. You ain't got no capacity, man. So
Yeah.
leave us alone.
You're
I
but
like
see
a
we
me
know
going
what
yapping
to
they
still a
do
chihuahua,
though.
goddamn
man.
president.
We
I see
know
me
what
going
they
to still
do.
a
We know what
goddamn
they
president.
culture do,
Exactly.
and
Right.
we
Hey,
know what they
get the
did in
hell
the
out of here.
north of Africa when they took over the north of Africa. We know what they did then,
and we know that they want to be part of Europe, and they will work with the Europeans to do us. And so we need to put the front line on the Sahel. All the African countries in West Africa need to get
No,
together, because if we don't,
But Niger just went to Algeria. They had some kind of framework that they're trying to work out, right? Mali just made some kind of peace agreement with Morocco, right? And there's a separatist movement in between that region that want to they own like Tuareg kind of state.
West
So
Russia.
there's both the
It's called the Western Sahel. I think.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's called the Western Sahel, something like that.
Yeah, but I
No,
feel
Western
like
Sahara, dog,
Go ahead.
Dinus. Western
Sahara. My
Sahara.
bad. Western Sahara. Sorry about that.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
think the Mali situation, we have to accept it. This is a big blow. But again, Malians, they have to keep up their security. You know, we say that it was a suicide mission, but that was not all of it. They went as far as to the presidential party, very close to the presidential party in Bamako, right? So,
No, that was in
we just have
Khartoum.
to, we just have to, and they want to Gadal and Gagua. All these places are very, right now, it looks like they are still in control of certain part of this city, right? Not in the military barracks.
They will repel them. They will repel them.
What happened was
They will repel them.
Hey, I got to pass the mic. We got somebody new on the panel. Go ahead, Reverend Green.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Dinus. Proud Americans,
Sounds like
rise
a
and
familiar
shine,
voice.
rise and shine, proud Americans. This is
Well,
Reverend
like the
Green,
topic
the
is
man in the
over.
High Castle.
Sounds like a familiar voice.
Let him talk. Let him talk. Go ahead.
And
Donis, man. Listen, man, go ahead, man.
thank you.
I don't.
This
I
is
mean,
Reverend Green.
we are Sahelian. It's not a good day, man. So you're
This
gonna
is
have to
Reverend Green, the
really.
man in the High Castle.
Hey, he called in. He has the floor. Go ahead.
Okay.
Rise and shine, proud Americans. This is Reverend Green, the man in the High Castle. And I'd like to say a prayer for those of our men and women in uniform. And God bless ICE. And thank you very much, President Trump, for showing us the way and protecting this country of ours. And let other nations who are now developing receive some of this delineation. Hallelujah. Amen.
Thank you for that. Now
We
go
can give you
away.
4 more minutes. You can use 4
Bless
more
your
minutes.
heart,
Now go
Reverend
away.
Green.
You didn't use your 5 minutes. You wanna go? You wanna go for some more?
Sure.
Please don't.
Thank you, sir.
Please don't.
You know, tomorrow, the president of South Africa will be speaking at 10 a.m. their time. And I'm aware that he will be going off script. And he will be reading something else. And people will perk up and they will listen. He's going to speak of a message of delineation tomorrow. I'm not a psychic, but just be prepared. Just be prepared. And I think it's going to tremble across nations in Africa to get on code with, hey, there are people there who are trying to usurp and they look like you. And they're using you. And they're using your children. And they're selling
I almost
drugs.
want to apologize for him
And they're
as
money
he sounds like
laundering.
an African American.
They're money
I'm
laundering.
embarrassed,
They're using Africa as a big Panama Papers.
but I'm not
All
going to
the
apologize.
offshore shell companies, they're selling narcotics. You know this.
Did you read the topic, brother man?
I know exactly what's going on in Mali.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what?
Hold on. So Reverend.
And you know what? You know what happened in Mali?
Stick on topic. Stick on topic. Go ahead.
You know what happened in Mali? Nothing unfamiliar. This always happens. You guys allow the sandcracker to beat you still. And when I say the sandcracker, you know exactly who I'm speaking of. The cracker from the sands.
To the Arabs, bro. The
so
Arabs.
what? So are you
He
saying that
beats
they're
you,
not fighting?
and he still beats you. He sell your children, and you allow it. He give you a holy Quran, and you close your eyes and pray, and now you on a slave ship.
Hey, hey, hold on, y'all. Reverend Green, he's spitting right now. Go ahead, Reverend Green. He's spitting. Go ahead, Reverend Green.
Oh, Dennis, I knew you were gonna love this.
Hallelujah, amen. I want to make sure that there's free, clean water for all little boys and girls across the world, and it makes the man in the high castle, Reverend Green, dismayed every day. young boys and girls being sent off as child soldiers every day. All they want to aspire, to be like an FBA. They want to
Don't
be an
forget Flint,
NBA
Michigan
player.
now. Don't forget Flint, Michigan now.
They want to be an NBA player. They
But
want
let
to
him
be
cook.
an
Let
NFL
him cook.
player.
Let him cook.
Dynasty, do you still
They
think the
want to
French
be
would be
like
a better
Angel
choice
Reese.
now after hearing everything you heard?
They want
Do
to
you
be an
still think the
American
French
rapper.
would be a
Yeah,
better
this guy
choice
must be drunk, man.
in the Sahel?
But y'all
Dynasty.
squandering
He
their
drank too
opportunities.
much of that needle milk and mixed it with palm oil.
He's
He
on.
got
He's on. He's on
You're
that
got
weed.
squandering
indigestion.
their opportunities as adults because you keep on fleeing to Spain.
Man,
You
in the
keep
high
on
castle, man.
you
Don't
keep on
forget about
fleeing
Flint,
to
Michigan, man.
France.
Don't
You
He's
forget
keep on
drunk,
fleeing to
man.
Don't forget Flint,
Portugal.
Michigan. They do drink dirty water. Don't forget about them now. In your part too now. Don't forget
You
about them
wait
now.
for
Please,
Mr.
please,
Beast.
brother now. Please,
You
brother.
wait you wait for
Hallelujah.
Mr. Beast to
Hallelujah,
come
Flint,
rescue
Michigan.
you. How many times
Hallelujah,
does
Flint,
Mr.
Look,
Michigan.
let's
Beast have
not
to
make this
come rescue
FBA and
you?
African again, please. Let's just
How
stick to
many
the
Bro,
times
topic.
does
the
Mr.
topic,
Beast
man.
has to come rescue you?
What's your
He's not
opinion
even
on
on
the
the
topic, man?
topic, man.
I
Show me
agree.
how
I
Pan
agree.
African
Arabs.
works on the
I
continent.
agree, my brother. Arabs have been the longest enemy for black people.
Africa,
Thank you.
I agree with that.
Pass the
Africa.
mic. I
Okay.
pass the mic.
Hmm.
Do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
But
remember
Yeah.
when I said,
my
when
thought
you come
is,
on here,
let us
right?
say if this
Yes,
was
Saint James. Yeah.
America, right? Do you think
Yeah. Saint James was making a
if this
point.
guy
Go on.
was his security was in the hand of US, right, in the West,
Mm-hmm.
do you think you are going to be executed like this? No, because that's why I
No.
don't trust the Russians. I see it
Mm-hmm.
over and over and again. If
Mm-hmm.
America were providing maximum security for
I
Sidi
don't know about
Kamara,
that.
What they
I
do?
don't think
City,
if you are going
You
to be
city,
going
killed like
back?
this.
Oh
Because
my
Why
what
don't we
happened
God.
city.
was,
blame?
let me
That's
finish,
wrong.
let me
Hey,
finish.
hey,
What
man.
happened
It's
to
Why
him
don't
was,
why
Yeah.
don't we
America.
why don't we
City,
why
you're
don't we
wrong,
blame
man.
Saint James,
ourselves?
all right, but
come after
let me
him.
finish. And
Come after him,
sometimes,
Saint James.
sometimes,
If
sometimes you have to
America,
watch out. It's
Let
almost
City
like,
finish then, Saint James.
America,
Yeah.
let me finish, man.
if
It's almost like
America,
the President Zelensky is moving around, right? Do you think
Yeah.
what do you mean Zelensky is moving around?
Let
Have
City
you seen
finish, please,
Donbass?
man.
Have you seen
But let him
Donbass?
finish.
Man,
Have
be
Let,
you
quiet,
seen
man. Let the man
Donbass?
finish.
we're making comparison? We're making
Have you seen
comparison.
Donbass? Have you
So
seen
man, let him
Donbass?
finish, man.
It's the poor people, man. They come up there. They
God.
don't even try to. They
What's
don't
wrong
even
with
try
this
to help
kid,
you out.
man?
yeah.
Have
So
you
let
seen
us say
Yeah,
if
go on, City.
the Ukrainian president, right? He been moving around, and we haven't seen anybody targeting is because of America providing security for him, right? So do you think if Seydou Kamara were in the hand of US providing security for him, he will be executed like this? Because this was just a common ambush. They set up
It
ambush
it
and they
doesn't
waited
matter
for
with the
him
U.S.
and
or
they
anyone
took him
else
out.
because
Okay,
of
guys,
So
let the guys
a
respond. He
common
made it direct.
ambush?
Listen,
and
the
I'm just making
American, no, no,
comparison.
let's
I'm
see.
not
Let me
Ambush.
respond to you.
No, stop
Let me
using the word
respond to you
common.
with the.
oh, let
We're
St.
gonna
James
cite. We're
respond.
gonna cite. We're gonna
Yeah,
cite
let
the
Saint James
sources.
respond.
Using the word common,
Hold
man.
on,
What's wrong with you?
Okay,
hold
Using the
on.
word
Let
common.
St.
It's
James
CD,
an
respond.
ambush,
Let
man.
St. James
CD.
Come
respond.
on, man.
Let St.
But
James
right.
let
respond.
him respond, man.
Let
Come
CD.
St.
on,
James
man. But y'all
respond.
ain't gonna use the adjective say common ambush.
Donnie, put
What
this
the
kid
hell?
down, man. He's annoying as
Hold on.
hell.
Bang,
What
bang,
do you
bang,
mean
You know,
bang.
be
ambush
quiet,
Hold on.
mean?
man.
Bang,
Be
bang.
Ben,
quight,
what
man.
do you
I ain't
mean
got time for
Hold
ambush?
on.
What do
Bang,
you
bang,
think
bang.
ambush
Let St.
mean?
James respond. Let St.
What do you
James
mean
respond.
ambush mean? Do you know the meaning of ambush?
No, you said common. You said
Hey,
common
This
ambush.
is just a
I know
simple
exactly what
stuff.
you're trying to say. You said common
Hmm.
ambush.
but
It was just an
But
yeah,
ambush.
let
but we but
If
let the man
they
let the
were
man
we
waiting
finish
for
his
strong.
him,
talk,
they
man.
It
came
Let the man
and
doesn't
they
talk.
took him
matter.
out.
It doesn't matter if you're
We do
American or
not
the
want the West
UK.
help.
You
Leave us
you
alone.
can still get attacked. I
Listen to
mean,
the
look what
school.
happened
We
in
do not. You're
Afghanistan.
not there,
They
fool. It's
got
not no
bombed
we.
inside.
Those people are
They
getting
got
killed
Let the man
by terrorists, and you talking
let
about
the
we
man
don't want
talk.
the
Elvis
West
I
help.
ain't got
just
time
got
for
just
you. I ain't
bombed
let
got
and they
let
time
had
for
a
you.
let Saint
base in
I
James
ain't got time for
respond.
you.
Afghanistan and Iraq, man.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Come
Saint
West,
on,
James,
the
go on
West
then.
don't,
it
the
does
Respond
West
not
to
don't
it,
give a
matter
Elvis.
fuck
what
if you
All right,
going to
so
Iraq.
does not matter.
see, I know it's crazy. CD, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Do we agree that the U.S. was in Niger? Do we agree on that?
Egypt. Yeah.
Do we agree? Do you know
He
how
said
many
he
military?
was in. He said U.S. were in Egypt.
No,
Niger.
Niger.
the
Yeah,
U.S.
they were in
Okay.
Niger. Yeah.
So, okay. Do you know how many military bases got wiped out by the terrorists when the Americans were there? How many of them? Military kill, slaughter, open stomach. You know how
Not
many?
enough, sir. Not enough.
No, the question was asked to you.
Where? I'm talking about taking
No, I'm
taking
asking
out
you
the
because you see, I don't want us to do the comparison
I'm
because
making
every side, right? What I'm agreeing with you, right?
Mhm.
That's what I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't want to compare the U.S. to the Russians. I keep telling you this is our issue.
No,
Every time I
I'm not.
come on here, I'm telling you, listen, you're saying that if Sergio Camara was in the hands of the Russians, Sadiq Kamara didn't need the Russian, and some happened. He was in the hands of his own people. This is our blame. Let's
No, I
not bring
understand that. I
Russia in
understand
there.
that. But at the same time, if you have a support of certain group,
We have
you
the
should
support of the
provide
United
the
States. I'm telling
People
you,
say
you
James.
can go
They're
back.
not
You
going to
can go
respect you
back. No, let me
100%,
finish.
Ben.
Let me tell you. You can go back when the U.S. was in Niger. And an entire military base. It's not even two people. Entire military base was wiped by terrorists. That was
but
why it was happening.
but that's different. That's
These
different
people
from
were
taking
left
No,
out
it's
there to
not
AES.
fend for
different.
themselves.
You're making
They were
wrong
left there to
So
comparison.
fend
wait a
for
minute. Are you
themselves.
saying that the United States wiped out
Since
entire military bases?
since
Is that what you're saying?
St. James, you're
No,
making
he's
Yeah.
wrong
saying that he's
comparison.
saying that
You're
they
No,
making
that's
wrong
didn't.
not
They
wrong.
comparison.
didn't have the right of use of force in that country, St. James. They have very
The
limited
same thing we're
operation
doing
in
with the
in
Russia.
Niger.
St.
No,
That's
James,
what we
Unlike
said.
Kenya, where
listen.
the U.S.
That's
was
what
We're
integral
not
to their
saying we
Africa
had
defense,
no
told you.
they
contact
had
with
more
them. So yeah,
success.
So you're
St.
saying
James,
we
you're,
need
yeah,
the
you're
we're
United
making
not.
a
Yeah,
wrong
States?
James is.
comparison. You're making
Okay,
wrong
we
No,
agree
it's
with
not.
comparison.
St. James.
No,
You're saying
no.
we
We
should
need
work
to
with the
start
Okay,
doing
do
this
terrorists?
you
thing
know?
Is that
Do
properly.
what
you
you're
know the
saying?
reason why all these
Mm,
Iranians' head is being taken
mm.
out is because of what America AI technology. They will identify these people and they
So
tell the
who?
Israelis
So who
to go and take
won?
them out,
So who
right?
Intelligence.
Yeah,
won?
but you
So
Okay,
who
see,
won?
okay.
So,
Let me
but
say
so,
do you,
this.
so,
Let me say
so
this
I'm,
right.
Who
Let
I'm
me say
won?
this
telling.
real
but
quick.
do you,
So
do you,
technically,
do
you
you
are
know?
advocating for boots on the ground. That's what you're advocating, right? So
No,
we
no,
can't
I'm not.
fight.
I'm
Ivan,
No,
hold
no,
on,
you're
hold on, hold
advocating
on,
for
hold on.
boots on the
Say
ground.
James, say James,
no,
say
I'm making a
James, say
simple
James, say
comparison
James.
when it
Hold on.
comes
No,
down
no, no,
to.
but
Let me
it
speak
all
real
falls
quick. Let me
back to
say this real quick.
us
Say
having
James,
the
Oh,
Americans
Ben,
on the
let's
ground, right?
Ben,
say
come
James,
on.
say James. Check this
No, no,
out,
I'm
right?
asking you. Is that what you're?
Say James, check this
I'm,
out,
No,
right?
but what
City, I
happened?
got a
No,
question for
we
you.
don't
City, I
want
got
the
a question
One
for
Americans
you.
on
mic,
the
one mic.
ground.
City,
We
City,
don't
I got a
want to
question for
work
you.
with Americans. We don't want them
City,
involved in nothing that we do.
City, I got a
Yeah,
question
one
for you.
mic, please.
okay, ask
Hmm.
me.
Yeah.
You have ain't American troops in Nigeria?
Yes, they do,
I'm
but they
not
have,
aware of
they've been
that.
there.
Yes.
So
You
no no
you
no no
making
No,
no
wrong
no no.
they've been
Hold
comparison.
on,
there.
hold on,
CD,
hold on, hold on,
CD, they've
hold on,
been
hold on,
there, and it's
hold
getting
on. Let me
worse.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Yeah.
hold on, hold on. Are American troops currently in Nigeria?
You making wrong
Yes.
Yes.
comparison. My
Okay,
comparison
okay.
is
Oh no
not
no
to
no
that
no 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 no
level.
no 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 no. Because you clearly said that if the U.S. was there, nothing would happen with Sadiq Kamara. So my question to
No, he
you
said the U.S. was
is
responsible for his security, not just
no
Security.
being there.
listen
Being there and
that's
being
Right.
no
responsible for his
You're
listen
making
security is
wrong
two different things.
comparison. You're making wrong
listen to
comparison.
listen to what I'm saying. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Are American troops in Nigeria now? Yes or no?
What are you talking about? Troop? I'm talking about providing security for
I'm
Israel.
asking. Listen. Answer the question. Are American troops on the ground
Yes,
in
yes, they're
Nigeria?
there.
Yes or
Yeah.
no?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And how are Nigeria doing?
Why was
Oh
Okay,
my
but then
gosh,
you're making wrong
that's not those two things
comparison.
doesn't equate. It's like
He's not.
saying,
They were in
am
I'm
I in
not
school
saying
or am
that.
I taking a test?
Because
Being one place don't mean you're
no
taking action. You can be inactive in a place.
because
Right. So,
He
That's the
qualified
point.
by saying if they were responsible
But
for
that
their
is the point
security,
too.
meaning they will be
They
actively
were in
responsible in doing
Agadez.
things.
How long were they in
because
Agadez and
City
nothing
has
took
this.
place when they were
It's
in
like
Agadez?
because
okay,
City
okay,
has
The
this
okay,
like.
okay.
insurgencies
Let
was
us take
still
it to
going
the next
on
level.
City,
Masaki,
while they
let me
were in
ask you this.
Agadez.
hold on. City has this God complex, meaning that if the U.S. goes anywhere, everything's gonna be perfect and dandy. That's
No,
just
no, I
not
didn't
the
say
truth.
that. No, I
No.
did
That's
not
the
say that.
no. I didn't say you
Let
said
him
that, but
clarify, man.
Okay,
See,
let me make myself. Let me
hold on.
clarify what I'm saying.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right. So what I'm saying is that let's take for
Mm,
example, right? Let's take it from
mm,
the Western war in the Middle East. Right now,
mm,
Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, everything that
mm.
he's doing is his security is provided by America. Russian, they have tried, they haven't taken this guy out because they know
no,
they. Let me okay. Let me
Russia
let him
finish.
Let him
flesh out his
finish,
has
point.
never
Masik.
Oh
assassinated
my
him.
God.
Masik.
Stop it. Russia has never tried to
No, but
assassinate him.
bang,
Stop it.
what you
That's
make
not
it
how Russia
interrupt the man
operates.
for?
No. What this man is doing. I know
Make the
exactly what
man
he's
talk,
doing.
Oh
bro.
my God.
No,
But let the man talk. When the man finish
no.
talking, after you come, you
compare it to Ukraine.
Okay, let me finish. Let me finish, Ben. Then
You can't do that.
all
Okay,
right,
Ben, we
Ben.
hear you, Ben. You're right. Let him
There you
finish.
go.
Okay, I hear you, Ben.
Okay.
All right. The same example with Iran right now. Every leadership that has stood up to defend Iran, to defend Iran, they have been taken out by the US. The US providing security for Israel, and they just go and take them out through AI technology, right? Why is it that Russia is not providing security for Iran? Because they do not have that level of technology compared to America. So that's what I'm saying. Isidru Kamara, security was provided by US, giving him maximum security. I don't think he was going to be ambushed and killed like this. I'm just
makes no
making
sense.
simple comparison.
So
I'm
what
not
does
That
it?
saying
makes no
you
sense.
fighting
That
against
makes
military
no
to
You're not
sense.
military.
making
Okay,
sense
let
because
Bam make a
really,
point. Bam,
Terrorists
make
do
a point
lynch.
quick.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
makes
he's
no
not making
Mm.
no
goddamn sense.
sense.
Because you know why? America would not allow these countries to be independent freely. America dictate things. America is an empire.
But you
Don't
now
y'all get it?
understand my question.
Don't
I don't
y'all
know where you're
know?
coming
Beside
from
even
with
that,
that.
okay then.
Did you
If
understand my
these
question?
countries, no, okay,
Well, what did
you
I
keep
say?
on saying
I'm
Ukraine,
just
right?
making simple comparison.
Russia has never
Yeah,
personally attacked Zelensky. If Russia truly want to do that, they could take out Zelensky.
Nah,
First of
nah.
all, let me say this, guys. The
Oh my
most
God, who's controlling?
important
Who's
thing, the most
controlling?
valuable thing is intelligence. And what CD
Yes.
is telling you is that movement of these people can be caught on satellite, and the United States can transmit that to the forces in Burkina Faso, and Niger, and Mali, and tell them there's movement here. Be in position, be ready to go.
Which they
That
wasn't
little
doing.
information helps
Which
a
they
lot.
wasn't doing,
Who's sponsoring
Elvis.
these people?
That's a
AES has
fact.
Who's sponsoring these
satellites.
Which they
people?
Russia
wasn't
They
is
have
doing.
doing that for them
satellites.
too, though.
Who's sponsoring these
They
That's
have
a
people?
fact.
satellites.
Okay, let us
They
take
have
it. Do you
satellites.
remember the U.S. pilot
City,
that got missing in
the
Iran? Do you
same
know how they
people,
identify him?
So
They
city.
identify
So
him
No.
through technology.
so
Yeah,
based on
I
what you're
remember that
saying,
CD.
Okay, so they identify this
Mm.
city.
guy through technology,
City. So
and they
based
knew
on what you're
someone
No.
was
saying,
breathing in the mountains
city.
somewhere. Why the
Marshall,
Russians
let
go
me
and
make his
destroy
So
point.
city.
to the
So city. So
Ukrainians
based on
and say
what you're
you're going
saying,
and capture the
city.
American
So city. So
pilot?
based on what you're saying, right?
What?
So
I'm
city.
just
So
making
based on
simple
city.
comparison.
So based on what you're saying, U.S. has all this technology, right? Iran is weak. How the hell all the places get blown up in the Middle East?
No,
Would you like to explain that?
you make the wrong
Mm, mm,
comparison. Masache. I'm just
mm.
talking about leadership. Everything
No.
comes down with your leadership,
When
right?
we
But you
bring a
said
point to
no,
you,
but you said
look.
no. But you clearly stated on this panel that the U.S. has the technology and the intelligence, right? So if they had
Yes.
the technology and the intelligence, how the hell did they let Iran blow all their bases in the Middle East?
And I just
Because Iran
CD
has
CD
technology
and
too.
also
Thank
yeah
you.
and
Iran has
CD and
technology too.
CD and I just made
So
that
what you're
point
saying?
clear. When the Boko Haram war started in northern Nigeria, the
Right.
Americans refused to sell Nigeria the weapons it needed to fight Boko Haram before it spread throughout the region because
Yeah.
Under a
they were
civilian
blaming
president,
Nigeria.
right?
Yes, that's
Yes,
true.
under a
No.
civilian president, and they said because Nigeria is abusing human rights. So these people are playing games on us, bro.
No, no,
You know, and they
I'm
need to
not
put it
saying
out. And they always
I'm not
That's not
backing the
entirely
US.
true.
I'm not
That's not
backing the
entirely
US.
true.
Elvis
Obama sent $2 billion to Nigeria to buy a weapon. Sambo
to buy
Datsuki,
weapons.
he laundered that, but he stole that money. He misappropriated that money. Sambo Datsuki, he was
That,
put in jail during Buhari
Elvis,
time. They
Okay,
sent
yeah,
$2
that's
billion
true.
to buy weapons.
That's true.
And the
That's
Nigerians
true.
stole the money. That was their initial fear, anyways. And it came to light when they
Right.
sent that money through Obama, and they stole
Wait,
that
wait,
Yes.
wait,
money.
It,
man.
yeah.
But
No.
there's
Hold on,
City, you
Elvis.
have to
Elvis.
understand.
You speak half truth.
the
Elvis.
World Cup
Let me
is
ask
Elvis. You
this.
speak
nearby.
half
City,
truth.
city.
That's the problem.
You have
One
to.
guys,
No,
guys. I
hold
was
on,
making a
city,
point. If you don't
city.
mind, please.
I
One
got you.
second.
Can I say 1 second? I got you. All I'm
Yeah,
trying
go
to
on,
say
go on.
is if you're fighting
Mm,
an unconventional war, it's not the same as
mm.
fighting a conventional. So it doesn't matter if you're the US, you're UK,
It's not
you're
the same.
Russia, you're China, you're going to have a hard time. Even the Russians had a hard time with the Chechens. And they fought
Right.
an unconventional freaking war, and the Russians
Oh,
almost
they
got
got
their ass
defeated
whooped.
everywhere they go. Even the Mujahideen rebel defeated them in Afghanistan. So they got
They lost in
they left.
Syria.
So everywhere they
They
go,
let the
they lost.
Mozambican president die in Mozambique.
Yeah.
Look. Let's be honest. It's not easy to fight terrorism. Okay,
No.
in all forms, it's not an easy task. You know, this is a very difficult war, and you know we know if we go through our history, the East and the West, they all have struggled. This is the reason why I've said, you know, we should go with the people who we see fit at that time. We shouldn't box and put
No,
ourselves in one box. Yeah, yeah,
Africa,
yeah.
How
Africa.
many of
I
you live on a
understand that. I
continent?
understand that. But
Yeah,
what I'm
I bet
saying is
only
that
yeah.
one of you
when
lives
Yeah,
on
and
a
even
let
when
me
they
continent.
first
capture,
let me
do
just
you know
land.
when they captured Doe? Do you know the reason why Prince Johnson killed Doe? It was through US. US were communicating with
Yeah,
Prince Johnson and told him that
yeah.
this guy
But
is at the
CD,
port. So they have that
between
advanced
the East.
technology.
Okay.
Nobody else can beat the US technology. This is the
Mm.
reality. You
No, I
know,
got you. But the thing is, these people they will not give you the technology because they will always find excuses not to give it to you.
right?
That's the problem. It goes back to history. It's always been like this. They rather
No,
give
the
you the money so you
technology is
can
not
go and
something they
shop for
give
it.
to you. It's a
Oh God.
satellite that has to be in orbit that they
Oh
can
God.
see the
Exactly.
Listen,
entire
listen.
Earth and pinpoint.
That's
It's not something you can
exactly.
give to an
Elvis,
African
How is he
directly.
not giving
Elvis,
to you? Who
Elvis,
has
Elvis.
you
access
see,
to the satellite?
when we bring you evidence, right? What
It
happened
is
here on this panel?
Elvis
We
like
give
the
you
half
evidence.
Hebrew.
You turn your back on it. I told you. You talking about satellite? They have the most advanced. No one is debating that. They have that in the Sahel. Have you seen the results? Have you
What do
seen?
you
I
mean?
told you,
You mean they got
entire
satellites in
military
James?
base was
Yes, the AES
taken
has
out.
access to satellites. Yes.
Can you
Whose
explain to me
satellite?
if
Did
you
their
have a military
satellite
base?
or
No,
is
no,
it the
Elvis.
Russian?
Let me tell you something. If you have a drone presence in one country and an entire military base is wiped out under your leadership, there is a problem. You cannot. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If we blame the Russian, I'm not gonna be against you, right? We can blame them, but the point that I'm trying to make is, whenever we're trying to blame America, some people have a problem with that. I'm not saying they're not the
Also,
best, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying I'm going by the
Captain,
result too.
please.
If the
You,
result is
that's
not there for
exactly.
us to be convinced about, why are we talking
who
about
would
it?
you want to recolonize you, China,
Well,
Russia,
let
or
me
the
I
address you.
think
Americans?
CD was
Let me
just making
address
a
you.
point
Listen,
about,
let me address you.
comparative
Right? I don't
Because
wanna.
analysis.
that's what you
I
want.
don't wanna.
That's what
No,
you want.
let me
Nobody.
You
address
want
the
you
men
want
in whatever
recolonization.
council you in. Right? There's a lot of
Yeah,
Black Americans
let's
who love
go.
Africans. If it wasn't for that, I was gonna go crazy on your ass. I'm telling you. But
You're
Yeah,
not going
let's
to
leave
go
that
no,
to
no,
crazy
the
on
no, no.
nothing. Go feed your
I
family
don't,
back
James,
home,
don't be
sir.
distracted by him, man. Let's
I'm
focus on
not
the
gonna be
topic.
distracted. But
Yeah,
I'm just
please.
saying
Yeah.
though. You know what?
Yeah.
When I first got here in America, right? I thought we were
Mm.
lost people, but when I'm listening to you, I know there is something damaged in us, man. Man, then I'm sorry that Africans have to hear this. You coming from
Don't
the most
please
powerful
don't do
nation
it.
in the world, and you talk like this, man. Listen, I'm sad to
Don't
see you doing this to
don't.
yourself, not to me. We don't care about you like that. Trust me, we
Yeah,
want you to do better for yourself. But the
yeah.
way you talk, the way you come on here, you act a certain way. We are not kids.
He doesn't
Trust me, we are
care.
not. In real life, you can't even talk to us. We
He's
ain't got that kind of
trolling.
time. We ain't
He's
got that kind of
trolling.
time.
Right. He's trolling. First of all, and I just
What do you
checked.
troll? What do you get out of that? When you troll,
Burkina
what do you get out of
Faso.
that? You're a grown man. You are not in junior high.
There's
Right, but
10
that's what
people on
trolling
here,
is.
and
Trolling
only
is a
one of
grown
them's in
man playing
Africa. You're
around on
not
the
even
internet.
in Africa, sir.
That's what trolling is. A
You're
grown
not
ass
even
man
in Africa.
playing on the
Yeah.
No,
So
internet.
we're not.
why
No,
you
we're not.
worry
You're
about
not
my
playing
whereabouts?
the
No,
No,
same
let me
big
ask you.
Burkina
You're a
cards.
grown
Faso,
man.
Mali, Niger
Why do you
do not
worry
have a
about my
satellite,
whereabouts?
but they're working on it with Russia. They currently do not have a satellite. Burkina Faso, Mali do not have a satellite, but they're working on that with
Where are you
Russia.
getting
That's what
your
I'm
news
saying.
from,
So
too?
are they tapping into the Russian, or the Russians are using that satellite to give them intelligence in James?
I don't know that, but I do know that
We share.
they're working with
Okay.
Russia
Yes.
to have their own satellite.
But Elvis, those are
I
when
think
you
it's
have
only
like
Nigeria
you
that
see
got
when
satellites
you bring those forces in your country, right?
in West Africa. Yeah.
You are also required, right, to give to tell your how you call it, the taxpayers in your country why these forces are there. You see what I'm saying? What we didn't know in Niger, right? This was not even debated in parliament. The U.S. presence in Niger was not even debated in parliament. The president went in there and signed a deal with America and got them there. It wasn't even debated. So when the Chiani came, they were trying to see the legality of the U.S. presence in Niger, so they can see if they can, kind of come up with some
But did
sort of
their
agreement.
presence
They did not
outweigh?
have that.
Did the benefit outweigh the
No, no, no.
constitutionality
The
of it?
benefit, right? The benefits. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Elvis. The minute, right, you side with our enemy, you are not trustworthy anymore. I don't know. Certain people they live in fallacy land. Are we not? We don't want the French in our businesses. I don't know whether they're our enemy or not. We don't want them there. We don't even want them close to us. If they are in your country, we're not going to talk to you like that. So, like the idea that America want to help us, right? They're the one who want to make it clear how they want to help us. We don't want boots on the ground. Whatever else we can do, whatever else that we see fit, we can entertain that. But we're not going to go to America because they are the number one force in America. We don't know their motives. They just made somebody else president who was a jihadist. We can't trust America. We can't trust America.
Then hold
Let's
your
be
own
clear.
nuts and say la
They didn't
vie.
make him president. That dude fought his
Say
way
la
and
vie.
won.
They
Hold your own nuts.
facilitated. They
He fought his way and
facilitated.
won.
But they
He's a part of
facilitated. They
Al-Nusra,
facilitated it.
and he won pretty much.
Elvis,
He took
Elvis,
over Syria.
Look, I
Elvis, I
live
live
in
in
the
America,
UK.
right? Let's not pretend we live in La La Land. I'm gonna be a critic to America. I'm gonna be a critic to Russia. I'm gonna be a critic.
Yeah.
But what you guys are doing, you guys are trying to bail
Well
out
done.
America. They're not always perfect for us. Let's be
No.
honest.
CD just made the point, and I was buttressing what he said, and you know, it was a strong point. I didn't say anything about America. I just said
Let me speak for 30
they can
seconds.
help you with intelligence. That's the biggest
We're
value to
begging
you.
for Yankee money, but then the people fuck it
Okay.
up.
30 seconds.
That's so
Yeah,
crazy.
Okay, Brian, go on.
And then y'all on more that
30 seconds. Pass the ball. Just 30
Yeah,
seconds.
Brian, go
gotta
on.
fight your own wars,
I'm gonna be
bro.
quiet.
Brian, your volume low. Your volume low. Increase your volume
My
more.
bad. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they
know that,
hear you. Yeah.
yeah. You guys know that America are very famous on, not even famous, notorious that when you sign a deal with them, right? Weapons wise, right? They give you authority.
Your Digicel smartphone device is not working
Bro,
properly.
he's speaking, man. Let's be respectful.
Let the man speak.
They strict you from the way you're supposed to use the weapon as well, right? As you can see, right, when the Nigerian government bought a lot of weapons, choppers, and all that, right? The American government specifically told them you cannot use this weapon in certain areas in Nigeria as well, specifically. And then that area is where you have a lot of these tikus. So America has history when they do sell you weapons, they control you massively. And let's be that's just facts, man. Anybody that come up here and tell you that, America is so wonderful, like when they sell you weapons, when they sell you this and that, they strict you from a lot of things. I keep saying America is an empire, man. Come on, people. You gotta maintain the
They're very
empire.
competitive people, and they cannot be 100%
Nobody is saying that we should put
CD,
America
I
on
live
the
in the
bed. We're just
UK
making
right now.
comparison. I'm
CD,
just
CD
making
right now in the
comparison.
UK. We do
I'm
not.
showing the
CD right now in
weakness
the
of the
UK.
Russians, how
No,
weak
I
they are.
think, CD, I understand some of your points you make. I understand some of your, even though I disagree with some of them, but I agree with some of them. But one second, even in the UK where I live right now, they do not trust the US with the current leadership. They don't. It's not a secret. They don't trust them.
No. I'm not
according to
saying
the
people
foreign
should
policy.
But you
trust
trust
America.
Kamala?
I'm just making comparison. What I'm saying is that if let us say, this American studio that were in a mountain in Iran somewhere, right? Do you know how they were able to identify this guy? Through AI and technology.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
They
I've
could
seen
hear
that.
this
That's
guy
true.
breathing from the jungle of the
That's
mountain
true.
somewhere, and
That's
able to
true.
identify
Yeah,
and pick him up. Why the Russians could not
that's true.
identify this guy and give it 10 over to the Iranians? I'm just making simple
But
comparison. I'm just showing the
that's
weakness
true.
of the Russian, the way we African think that the
You guys
Russians are
have no
advanced. It's not to that
solutions
level.
but
That's
running
true. That's
away.
true. But don't
That's
think
it.
they will
That's
use that
your
technology
yapping.
to help. Don't think they will help use that technology to help an average African
No, they have
president.
the
They won't do that.
satellite. They what I just said, they're not going to
No,
give it to you, but they will
they will not use
provide a
it to help.
security for Sidhu Kamara that he will
Well,
not be ambushed and executed like this way.
they will
Let's
not.
look
They
at
will not use
Kenya.
it.
What
But
Kenya
see,
do? What did Kenya do to
The
combat
only
Al Shabaab effectively with the help of the U.S. and the British? What
Exactly.
did
That's
Kenya
a
do?
prime example.
What is
the
the
British.
agreement Ghana just made with the EU?
I see
The
why
British.
these women run
What is
away
the
with the
agreement
children.
that Ghana
I
made with
see
the
why.
EU to
I
share
see why now.
intelligence?
Elvis.
But listen, it says
Elvis.
share intelligence, which means they want intelligence from
Yeah.
Ghana
The
about what's
only.
going on their
Yeah.
northern border.
Yeah, the only European nation to be known to do these things and they pack their bags and go are the British. I'm not saying they're 100% perfect also because we know their history, but they as you mentioned earlier in the East African region they were there and I think they did well in terms of dealing with the terrorism in Kenya and Tanzania, some of this region. In Sierra Leone they came in, they brought the SAS and they packed their bag and they went. But they even with the Chagos Island at the moment, they actually was dismantling that base and they giving these people money before America came and said, no, you can't do it. It's not good for our own security. It's like, who are you to tell the British people not to hand over an island to people, to the people who actually owns the island? You see, this is what I'm
We
trying to
just
say. You
gave
cannot
$300
trust them.
million to the coastal states. The Global Frigidity Act had $300 million. I just read it over again to
Yeah.
these countries for
all of the stuff I had mentioned before about
And the
getting
coastal states.
information and all this stuff, right?
I told you, I
Trump
said this
interrupted
before.
that though because he's closed down USAID their
Yeah.
policy changed. So there's been a little interruption in their little
Well,
program that was
everybody
going
was
on.
Oh
happy
yeah.
for USA to close. They said it was a CIA
And
operation,
also,
right?
and
What?
also Rick Perry said that in the Senate that the USAID was going directly also to Boko Haram in northern Nigeria.
Right, but
And while they was actually refusing to sell it, while they were refusing the Nigerian government, selling them the right tools to fight Boko Haram, they was actually selling, the weapons to Boko Haram. Christopher Musa, the current Nigerian Minister of Defense, he was in Al Jazeera. He said it. He said there's some Western forces behind it.
and
No
just
secret.
because they closed USAID doesn't mean that they're not funding these insurgents. Doesn't mean that.
Exactly. Thank you. So that should be cool. I mean, that should be case closed for anyone that got tiny bit of brain cells, left in
Stop
their head.
saying that.
Unless if they're
Stop
Asian.
saying that. If somebody sell you guns, Africa,
Look
are
at
you
you,
gonna
how
go
you get
kill?
triggered
No,
now,
are you
bro.
gonna go kill your brothers
No,
because somebody sold you guns?
No, hold on,
no.
Elvis, hold on.
Oh God.
Yeah, the cause is not
Wait,
because
hold on. No,
they're
you're
sold
This is
guns. These people
disingenuous.
already have a
Oh
motive.
my
They're
God. This
actively
guy,
terrorists,
you're
and they're buying weapons to go kill people.
Hold on, but you're denying the sales to genuine
The cell
government.
is the cell doesn't matter.
Selling to
The
extremists
people
and
there have
criminals.
an ideology,
They did the same thing in
and that
Haiti.
ideology
They
that's
denied
what
to
leads
sell
them
the
to go seek
weapons
out guns.
to the government
Your
because
argument is so flawed.
they allow these
It's not.
indirect individuals to buy guns to
It's
kill
not. If
innocent
you
civilians.
don't want to kill your brothers because you don't believe in violence and you want to live peacefully, you're not going to be looking for guns to sell. Nobody's going to force guns on you to go kill
You talk about
somebody.
extremists. These
That's
people are
not how it
extremists.
works, man.
These are not.
So
These are
what's
No,
the
don't tell me that's not how it
solution to
works.
us
Because I don't know
uniting?
about people.
What is the solution to us uniting?
I want to
And
know
so
how
that
Pan
we
African works.
can
Terrorism find
survive
means any way to
this
buy
cold
guns and to
winter.
kill
Pan
other
African
people.
works is the AES is solution.
Elvis,
Pan
this is
African
why I
works.
said.
What are you talking about?
This is why I said
How do we
national
survive the
service is a
cold
must.
winter? What?
This is why I said national service is a must. Is a must. Is a must. Teach this youth how to be patriotic. Give them skills. Bring in the army to learn about skill and discipline and love their nation. That would be a good way to start this thing. Okay.
What about
So
the
no
leadership though?
outsiders. Yeah, it
What
costs a lot of money, but we need it. And I
what
think
about the
most of this
leadership
confidence,
though? We
the
got people like
leadership, that was,
Tinubu and I don't know who's
oh
in
God,
charge of Benin and Ouattara. We got
oh
those
yeah,
people.
the
Yeah.
sellouts, yeah,
So what good
this
is
the
national
sellout.
youth program gonna do when you got those kind of people leading?
We need to get
Are
rid of
those
them
are
first.
those people really sellouts though? Their countries are doing
Yeah, they
relatively
are.
well.
We
They
what
have
I
peace.
know
Nigeria,
you're playing the devil's
Tinubu,
advocate right now
he is,
because you don't
No,
he's
really
a
that's my
mean
devil.
that.
He's a
position.
devil.
Honestly,
He's a
You
devil.
don't really mean
Elvis is
that.
have you ever been to Cote
Elvis is
d'Ivoire?
a
I think you said
devil.
you've been
He's
to
a
Cote
devil.
d'Ivoire before, right, Sha?
No, I've never been, but
Okay, ask
it's
CD how Cote d'Ivoire is. It's really
okay. So it's
peaceful.
nice. It's
They're doing
developed
well.
and all of that.
Well,
Okay,
I would tell you
but
this, right? Ivory
Hmm.
Coast, right? People say, yeah, they could be a sellout, but there's a lot of project that they have there. They work with the South Korean, they work with the Japanese.
Man,
You'll be
they
so
work for everybody
you'll
but
be
themselves.
you'll be surprised at the people that they work with, right?
No, but Ivory
Even
Coast, CD.
they
Ivory
work
Coast
with
has other
everybody that
African
will
countries.
contribute to the development of that country.
You cannot compare. You cannot compare. Ivory Coast
It's
actually export power to other countries in West
and not
Africa,
only
and we
that, this is
understand
the
that.
No, but
best country that will, I think,
But
CD,
for any African to invest in Ivory Coast.
Right.
This
CD,
is
So
the
when you
yeah,
say
best
they're
no,
country.
I
I'm
sellouts, their
understand.
telling you.
country
I
are doing much
understand.
better
But
than
But
the
how many
non-sellouts.
Much
nations?
better than
no,
are
anybody.
they
How
You know
many
doing
why?
better
nations
than
do
Explain
we
Ghana?
have
how
a
an
war with?
African can invest in
Coast.
Ivory Coast, sir.
And they have
I give you 1
60%
minute.
of
Go
the
ahead.
CFA.
1 minute.
60%
Explain.
of the CFA is in Ivory Coast. The other
wait,
40% is Senegal, including other francophone country. They
no,
have.
Senegal, Ivory Coast, Ghana.
You
You cannot
you
take
can't
that
even
from them.
compare Senegal with
They
Ivory
tried.
Coast. You can't. It's no
No, I'm just
comparison.
saying. I
Yeah.
know. I'm
No, he's
just
just
saying.
saying that
Senegal,
those
Ivory
countries are
Coast, and
doing
Ghana.
relatively well, CD.
They
It's
doing
not a
relatively
percentage.
well. When they
Yeah.
speak peace,
Definitely.
I see
we
big
But,
understand
cheese.
but
that.
Yes,
but
they
don't we need
are.
more than
Yeah,
that
we
though? We
understand
just
that.
finished
But
saying if we don't come together to deal with the problem in
but
Sahel, it's
exactly, we
going
need
to
to come
They don't have
be a
a
together.
That
goal.
problem
That's
I
for
it.
these
agree with that,
We,
countries.
Sha. I'm saying we should come
So
together
yeah,
as
yeah,
regional,
but
groups
ignore
we're
and fight these
divided.
if Ghana,
guys.
Sha,
if Ghana, yeah,
if ECOWAS want to put
yeah,
up
go
the
on.
money and put up the forces, AES has been ready. We've been ready. We waited for them.
Nobody knows who
I
Aquawaz
agree.
is, man. We
So,
think that's Star Wars or something. We all don't have
And
Star
that's
Wars.
true. I
anymore.
agree with
Cut
you.
it out.
You never been against it
One at
anyway.
a
You never
time.
been
One at a
against
time.
it.
One at a time.
But that's true. But the only problem we have in West Africa is when the other group of nations are against the other nations. I don't like the way ECOWAS, actually divorced with the Sahel.
They did not do it in a. To be honest, they're not really divorced because there's still some military officers. If I listen to very well to the senior military officer in Nigeria, they said they're still working with these AES countries anyway. So I don't know why people online thinking these people are enemies. But however, is that as some of your speakers said earlier, is certain things the AES do not trust about the ECOWAS is what gave them this second thought about this nation. But they were brothers. These people are all together. People in Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Mali, Guinea. These are all brothers and sisters, man. We that come from this region, we know the reality. Liberia, Sierra Leone, all these people are the same brothers and sisters. It don't matter how we can sit there and come and talk about tribe and religion. It's just ridiculous because we know at the end of the day, we're all gonna go and drink the same water. We're gonna ride the same road. We eat the similar food. We live we live similar. Like Ivory Coast supply Sierra Leone and Liberia some part of the country electricity, just like Burkina Faso and Mali. And some of their stuff come from different ports. But however, they shouldn't let the coastal countries shouldn't let certain programs come into their countries if it's going to be disadvantageous towards the inland nations because it's going to provide insecurity. And if they see, like for example, a country like Senegal, Guinea,
hold on. You said if they allow people to come in, that's not what's causing the insecurity. It's the Islamic terrorists that's causing insecurity.
Okay, let's say your obsession with Islamic terrorism, right?
I just don't get it, bro. You're insulting our intelligence when you act as if this is not an issue. Islamic terrorism is an issue.
We all know that's an issue.
Hit the like button, guys.
Okay. So let's say a country like Senegal, Guinea, help fights, put more effort helping Mali fight the Islamic terrorists, and also countries like Ghana, in Nigeria, help the brothers in Niger and Burkina Faso, help these brothers fight the insecurity instead of having to totally cut them off of the payment system, cut them off of certain things that help them, fight these terrorists. This is not helping because now it caused animosity between the two group of people, and this is an old thing that when I don't think you're West African enough to understand the history between the Mansa and the farmer. And the more you talk, the more you sound ridiculous because I know the history. I know where these things stem from.
I'm not arguing any of those things. My only point here is Islamic terrorism is a problem. And that's what we can focus on. Every other thing you're saying, I'm not disagreeing with you.
There's a breakdown of system. Yeah, there's a breakdown of certain things that have gone wrong between the Sahel and the coastal line. That need to be put in place. They will defeat the terrorists.
Are you saying that the terrorists are coming from the coastal countries? Is that what you're saying?
No.
They've always been on the continent.
What does the coastal country have to do with the terrorists? That's what I don't understand. Coastal countries are not supporting terrorists into the Sahel. They're coming from north. They're coming down south.
That's providing funding for the coastal cities to be proxies for them.
No, but you keep saying the coastal countries, and they do anything that will hurt the insecurity. The Islamists are coming from the northern part of Africa and coming down south.
From the United States
I just told you that. Sorry, I apologize, sir. I just told
he beat you in the ass.
I just break it. 1 second. I just break it down to you, Elvis, and you actually going on a false rant again. What's wrong with you?
What's the connection between the coastal countries and insecurity in the Sahel?
Google Global Fragility
They're harboring them. Guys, ask Elvis how the three countries came about. How Burkina, Mali, and Niger was selected for this. How did that come about? Do you think it was
you're very disappointing. You're very disappointing.
Do you really think they just woke up in the morning and they said, you know what, let's try Mali. You know what, next let's do Burkina Faso. Let's do Niger. Give me your thought about it. Why these three francophone countries are the only one being attacked heavily, and the other ones are just like pretending like nothing is happening? What is this? No. Right. I want Elvis to respond. Like, what do you think?
Okay, because the Sahel region, you have the Tuaregs that live in that region. You have certain Fula people that live in that region. You have certain groups, that live in that region who are terrorists, right? So, for example, you have the Tuaregs. They want to take over the northern part of Mali and make it their own country. They think that should be their land, right? They started a fight for that. You have certain groups from Nigeria that cross over to Niger. And have been terrorizing that region for a long time, and even spilling into Burkina Faso. I'm speaking, brother man. I'm speaking, brother man. So my point here is that these guys are in that region right there, that Sahelan region, and they've been terrorizing that region for a long time. Right? The insecurity has been there since multiple presidents in Burkina Faso. The same thing in Chad. You know, Idris Deby has been fighting these jihadists for a long time. He even lost his life doing so. So these guys
Would
have
you
been a
call them
consistent
Moors?
problem.
Now you're contradicting yourself. Now you're
They have been
contradicting
a
yourself.
consistent problem in that region.
There has been okay.
Terrorism
Thank
has
you,
been a
Elvis. So,
consistent
no, ask
problem.
me. I will tell you. Okay, ask me. I'll tell you. Okay.
Bro, I don't want
Forget
to hear
about
your narrative. I'm telling you, every other West African knows this is a problem. You're trying to tell us it's not the problem. The problem is the Western countries are selling them guns.
Well,
The Western
Oh my
the coastal
God!
countries are
Nobody said
harboring
that.
them.
Nobody
Can I
said.
say
The
something?
actions of the people doing the killing, those are your main problem.
Actually,
Not anybody else.
Yeah.
let's take it slow. Elvis, when did the terrorist attack start in Burkina Faso?
I can't be 100% sure. You might have to, elucidate me
No,
on
just
that.
give me an
But
idea. I'm not gonna hold you to
I
it.
would say during the time of Compared, maybe 2010, 2012,
Oh my
during that
God!
time.
There was no terrorist attack in Burkina Faso. It started right after we elected a civilian president, right? And these terrorists went to him, told him that they have an engagement with some of the leaders in the region. They have an agreement. For you to not be attacked, you have to sympathize with them. You have to agree with them so they don't attack your country. This is actually not a military guy. If you want, down is one. We can send you the video. The former president of Burkina Faso saying that to us. They came to him, telling him that Blaise Compaoré had to deal with him. And since he's not a president, they would like for him to enforce the deal. And he told them no. And the first terrorist attack happened in Burkina Faso in 2015. We never had terrorism issues in Burkina Faso, never. That's how they started it. They always look for a base. The base they used to attack Mali, one of the bases they used to attack Mali, Burkina Faso. I'm sorry to tell you. So we know their tactics. So when you sit on here and tell us that some of these countries that are doing well are not,
So did they tell you the countries that were supporting them, St. James? Do you know the countries?
Elvis is here telling
I
us
told
the
you my own
problem. Like,
country, my own president
No,
was supporting
hold on.
them.
I'm trying to hear St. James, guys. So
Right,
your
right.
country, through the treacherous Blaise Compaoré, was in bed with the
Yes.
terrorists. Is that what you're saying?
He was helping.
So
He
that
was even a negotiator in Mali.
he pretty much brought that problem upon you guys because he was negotiating with them, and since he left,
Did I
they retaliated.
debunk that? I just gave you the historical facts.
So that's
I gave
one,
you
okay?
historical
That's one
facts.
country, right? So
Right.
so now you're admitting that this terrorist situation is caused by your own hands of
I
your leader.
said, how many times did I say that?
It's also complicitness by the Africans
It's not as simple
by
as
the
Forget about the
Afro-Arabs.
African. He gave you one example of a president who was in bed with them. What's the other country that was in bed with
Ghana
them?
in agreement with the Global Fragility Act. Ghana
Where
told
does
do the same thing. They
Where
agreed to
does
them.
Blaise Compaoré
They have
live
an
right now?
agreement
Where
with the
does he live
Global
right
So
now?
you got
Fragility
two countries that was harboring terrorists in their
And
countries,
Tiani is over
and
here
now the
telling you
terrorists
that.
are coming home to roost.
And Elvis, Tiani is
with
over here
ruling.
telling you all the meeting
Just
that this
look
guy
at their
used.
objectives and
This
look
guy.
at what they've done. They've harbored 50,000 refugees from the Sahel.
So these guys
And the
brought this
Global
upon
Fragility Act.
themselves. Instead
The
of fighting
Global
the terrorists, they
Fragility Act
harbored them, and
funded
now
them
these guys are
money.
You know what
uncontrollable.
simple men do,
Funded
Elvis?
them money. We're
Elvis,
giving
you know
you
what simple men
organizations
do?
that are
Simple men like you
institutions that are
think very
created by the
simple.
United States that are in
Bro,
agreements
what are
right
you
Hey,
talking about?
I gotta read these super chats. Babaliko 9354, thank you for $5 holla. Say James is 100% right. Babaliko 9354, thank you for $5 holla. None is these European countries or America is really there to help. It's all about the survival for resources.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
also,
fighting with you,
we
Africa.
have
St.
to
James is telling you
throw
his
in this
country was harboring
Islam too,
terrorists.
though.
Somebody mentioned that Mali was doing the same thing. So these guys brought this upon themselves by fighting these guys in the initial stages.
I want you
They
to
harbored them.
understand. But I want you to understand.
But it's not as easy as you trying to make it look like.
It's part of our
Elvis, it's
problem
not
in
that easy.
Nigeria, Africa. Is this Islam and these Abrahamic religions is a part of our adds to our cultural and historical amnesia, which that makes it easy for us to be divided with each other because we don't see each other as each other. We want to be Christians or we want to be NLP or
Muslims
PPA and all
or
this other bullshit. And so when
I
now
can agree
you
with that,
got
sir.
other people coming in who are Afro Arabs or just straight maybe Arabs, right?
Be
They're
used
coming
by
in
the
with
North.
their ideology. They want to impose Sharia and have everybody wearing hijab. This is part of the destruction of black civilization that we have to admit that these Abrahamic religions is playing a
They
part
did the
of it.
same thing, sir. I agree with you. They did the same thing in Spain. Sorry, guys. Let me make this quick. when the Takrur kingdom, which is the Fulani kingdom, side by side to the Ghana Empire, helped the Tuareg invaded Spain, because the Tuareg tried to invade Spain for a long time. They couldn't do it. They failed time and time. Go and research it. It's when the Fulani, the Takrur kingdom, agreed to join them to enter into Spain. That's when they were succeeded. And majority of the people who conquered Spain and ruled Spain for that long were the dark-skinned Tuareg, the dark-skinned
We
Africans.
hear you. The Fulanis are great people,
Okay.
but now they're terrorists and they're
Oh no,
terrorizing our region. They need to
let me
be
just
dealt with.
finish now, okay? So when these people invaded Spain, Al-Andalus, and ruled that place for that so long, right? They was ruling it very nice, and they was succeeding in terms of ruling the place. They introduced science, because most of the gold and the salt in Senegal was used to build Spain, okay? And it was going really, really well. But the Tuareg, they had some radical who came from the Middle East, who brought some radical version of the Islam, because that region you call Mauritania and Morocco and Senegal was empty. A lot of them already went to Spain. He wanted to bring that type of Islam because he was a vagabond. Okay, he was like a rude, like a terrible guy, and he got chased out of the Sahel. Then he went to Spain, and then by that time the black Tuaregs was who the African Arabs and the African tribes was struggling with the Alfonso the Great in Spain. So he went to help them, defeated most of the invasion from the north of Spain. So at that time, the black people feel like, oh, this guy, he's a good ally. We can do, we can work with him. This is how they manage to manipulate black people and say, look, you cannot continue to rule this kingdom because you don't have direct lineage to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because you're not, basically you're not Arab. So let us rule this place. Let us take over. You can be the people, like governors and this and that all over the kingdom. And this is how they managed to start pushing us out of power in Spain, and slowly. And the Spaniards, Alfonso the Great, happened to get through to, because they couldn't fight them. So they was chased out of Spain. And this is how you manage to find people in Morocco today and Mauritania and all this part. They were chased back to the region. And they used, and basically this guy, instead of having to continue to use science and technology and learning, type of Islam, they brought this extreme version of Islam, which is all to do with worshiping, worshiping, worshiping. And it's the same thing happening in today. They have betrayed us. Nobody listen. When men in the high castle came on earlier and said, about Arabs and stuff like that, and Elvis, when you're trying to bring this sort of argument about Christian and Muslim, you sound so dumb. Listen to
I
me.
didn't
I
mention
don't
anything about
care about.
Christians.
Okay, all right, okay. What I'm trying to say, the Abrahamic religions, yeah, these people who basically are people who had it for certain years have used this religion to betray us for so long, generation after
Don't
generation. We
say those
haven't
religions.
learned.
Talk about Islamic terrorism that's hurting our
No,
region
we're
right now.
talking about Abrahamic
It's
religions because
religion, man.
Christianity is a
Nah,
problem
you guys
too.
always try to do the both sides.
No, no,
It's not the
I'm
Christians going out there
identifying.
killing other
I'm
Christians
What
in
about
the
the
name of
ones that? What
identifying
about
Oh
the
Jesus.
my
ones
destruction
that
God.
They're
of
not
run
doing
Oh
that.
my God.
civilization.
What about the
I'm
They're
ones
talking
not
that
about the
live
doing
in the
that. Don't say,
desert?
"Oh
destruction.
my God, it's just a
What about
fact."
the
The
ones
Christians
that
may
live in
have
the
their own
tribes?
problems, but they're
What
not
about the
going
ones
No,
that
out
that's
they're not
killing
not.
tribes?
people
That's
What
for
not
about
the
the
religious
point I'm
reasons.
Christians?
making. The point I'm
Wasn't
making
that
is the
Christian?
fact that you don't know about your history. You're a
Niger,
He
wasn't
Christian.
doesn't.
that
You know.
Christian?
No,
You
he
listen to
knows.
this. Listen to
Okay,
this. I'm in a
Shut
room.
up.
I'm in a Twitter
Is
room.
my history killing
I'm in
people
a
in Africa
I'm
right
in a
now by
Twitter
going in and
room, and
Get
we're
slaughtering
Sha,
talking
villages?
about
Sha, Sha,
the.
Sha,
Listen to
There's
Sha.
this.
Let me
hundred
The
tell you
thousand
title
something
of
really
Mali
quick.
Come
Ghana.
on,
When you
the
man.
like,
Wasn't
room
that
is
Christian?
called
He killed
You're
Mali
trying to you're
prophets.
trying to
Does God
equivocate,
Exist?
and
No,
it's
wait a
not the
minute. Hold
same
on.
thing.
Hold on.
Islam is
Hold
doing
on.
more
Hold on.
physical
Hold
How
on.
is
damage
it
to
Hold on.
that?
Hold
Africans
on. Let
right
me
now
make
than
this point. Let
Christianity.
me make this
He
point.
says
Let me make
because
this
it's
point.
religion.
So I'm in a room and entitled of the room is called "Does God Exist?" Do you know that most of the room is full with Africans from the continent? They might be in the Western world, but some of them were actually in Nigeria, mostly Nigerians. So, but you have some white folks in there, some African Americans in there, and do you know that everybody in there, mostly and Africans more than anybody, all they had to say and relate to with the subject matter, "Does God exist?" was citing the Bible and things about the Bible and the history of
You're shy. If you're an
Nicene
atheist or you
Council.
believe in
Wait a
traditional
minute,
religion,
wait a minute, wait a
that's
minute.
fine.
So
I'm
when
not
I
arguing that point
hold
with you.
on, hold on. I'm making a point though. I'm making a point. The reason that I'm saying that is because not one of them was able to talk about God from their cultural worldview. They have lost their worldview because They've been indoctrinated for generations.
That's fine, but they're not
Right.
killing
But do
people.
you
They're
know what
not
that means,
terrorists
though?
and
Do you
killing
know what
people in the
that
name
means
of
when
the
it comes to
religion.
uniting with each other? Do you know what that means when it
You
comes
can
to
talk
working
about
with each other?
Yeah, you can talk about the philosophy and whether God really exists, whether he's doing good for you. But what we're
I
talking
learned
about
in
is a
Black
group that's
studies. What I
killing people.
learned, wait, hold on. What I learned in Black studies, listen, because you're gonna learn something. What I learned is that when this clinical psychologist came into a class called Black Involvement in Scientific Development. That was the class, and we were talking about melanin a lot. She came in and said, as a clinical psychologist, I cannot work with a person who does not know, does not have orientation. They need to know where they are. They need to know that they're not in Rome and they're in San Francisco. They need to know what time, who they are. They need to know, they need to have an identity of who they are. And then they need to know what
I
time it
always
is.
find it
So
rich
on a
when people
large
who don't live in
hold on, let me make
Africa.
the point
No,
though.
hold on, hold
Let me
on.
no,
You
hold
don't
on.
live in
Let me
Africa.
finish.
You don't
Let me
live in an
finish.
African village. You
Let me
don't know
finish. Let me
witchcraft.
finish. May I
You don't
finish,
know the
please? May I
metaphysics
finish,
of
please?
Africa
May I
to
finish,
be
please?
lecturing
May I
me.
finish, please?
You live in the comfort of the
So I'm
United
not
States. You're
lecturing
in
you on
safety.
Africa. I'm lecturing you
do
on
you know
You
what?
don't
Do you
live
know
in
what?
a
psychology.
village
Do
and
you
know
know
what
what,
real
Right. I'm
witchcraft
talking
is,
to you
child.
about
You just practice
psychology
on,
right now
online.
and clinical psychology, not on Africa, on clinical psychology. And when I looked at that, I revisited that for that space. I went to this, and there's several ways of dealing with people. But on a macrocosmic level, you have a group of people who cannot talk about God from their own worldview. They can't talk about anything from their own worldview because they've lost connection with their worldview because of
No,
being cut
because
off
they
from it.
realize that their religion, most Africans convert to Christianity because they know what they're going through.
So what about the
They know what
I
their
disagree.
traditional religion do to
I
their
disagree.
people.
They
They
don't
know the
convert.
spiritual oppression that
They
they're
don't
under.
convert
They try to
because
liberate
of the
themselves. You
history.
don't know more than the Africans.
When you
It's not because
look
they
at the
lost
history of
connection
how
with
most
themselves.
Africans converted
It's
is
because they
when they
saw a
were.
better way, a better spiritual way.
Do you know that when the most of the conversion was due to the fact that they
Shy,
had
I want you to
pilgrims?
go live in an
They
African
had
village for 1 year
pilgrims against
and
practicing
see
their own
if you want to
religion.
quit running back to
They
Jesus
had
Christ.
pilgrims in the turn of the century where they destroyed the shrines because those spiritual systems was all also political as well as spiritual, and with examples of the Igbo people and the Aro people, which is a sect of the Igbo group. They destroyed the shrines. They destroyed their political systems, and then they had the missionaries come in and give them Christianity, and they were forced to
Have
take
you been to a
Christianity.
real shrine, Shy, in Africa?
I got a real shrine in my motherfucking heart.
There you
What you
go.
talking
Like I
about?
said, you're practicing this on
I
satellite,
got a
bro.
shrine in
You
my.
don't live amongst the people.
I
You
got a
don't know
big
the real
shrine in my
deal.
room. I don't need to go to Africa to have a shrine.
Okay, that's what I said, because you don't know it. That's why the
I've been
Africans
to
are
Africa too. I
converting to
see
these
the
different
shrines in
religions
Africa. My shrine
because
is
they
just as
realize what they're
good or
living
better than
amongst.
their shrine. Some of them shrines.
He's correct. You see how
I've been to
emotions game, right?
Africa. I was initiated in the shrines there.
Elder
So what are you
Yeah,
talking about?
you practicing a satellite
in the name
religion.
of,
Go in the
you know why,
village in
Go
Nigeria
on
and
the
I've
practice
Dennis
your
been there.
religion.
side.
I've been to Ode
Go
Remo.
to the voodoo
I've been to
kingdom in
Ode
Benin and practice
Remo.
your religion.
I've been to
Go
Ode
to the
Remo.
Dennis side.
Okay, and the
one mic,
Araba
Kobe
of
from
the Ifa
Uganda.
community initiated me. What are you talking about?
one
40
mic.
Woo!
Do you know
motherfucking
why?
years
Do you know
ago.
why Elvis? Do you know what?
40
Cha,
years
cha,
ago, sir. I've been doing this for
Woo!
40
cha.
Are
years.
you practicing
You're not
traditional
talking
religion,
to any. You're
Africa,
not
before
talking
you
to
speak?
a regular little
He
Hey,
more
guys, I
Yeah,
African
got, I
than
got to
you
read
is.
these super chats, then we got to close out. Babaliko 9354, thank you for the $5 holla. So Islam caused damages in Africa, but who is behind them, paying them? Is it not Christians? Is not French and West paying Christians the same thing? All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. Like,
exactly,
subscribe.
Elvis.
Next time,
Go
family.
to sleep,
Dynasty
Elvis.
for real.
You're
Good
lost.
room, Dynasty.